Meet our protagonist. Just an ordinary guy struggling to survive until fate took a cruel turn. It started like any other day. Heading home with some beer after a long shift, when suddenly, a speeding car slammed into him, shattering his normal life forever. His world turned to total darkness. Paralyzed from the waist down and facing amputation, despair consumed him. He just wanted it all to end. Trapped in a broken body, his only escape was playing games and reading novels from his hospital bed. These stories were his only light, giving him a small reason to smile amidst his cold reality. But then, he finished the novel 𝐼𝐸𝐫𝐸. The ending was trash. The protagonist had slaughtered all humanity, all for his own selfish happiness. Our hero was furious at such a heartless and cruel conclusion. He wished he could enter that world and crush the villain, but his paralyzed legs remained motionless. He fell asleep, dismissing it as a dream. But then, he jolted awake to a shocking new sight. The room was completely foreign. Thinking it was a dream, he frantically searched for his phone instead. A stranger's face reflected in the water. Confused and about to call for help, he noticed something impossible. His legs! They were moving perfectly. Suddenly, a mysterious system window flickered to life before his eyes. Welcome to the world of mages. From now on, you must survive as the character Manhwa. That name sounded familiar. He realized he was now a mere side character in last night's novel. A pathetic extra? He wanted a reroll, but the system gave him a chilling, final warning. If this character dies, you die for real. Amidst the confusion, he felt a strange, surging energy. His body felt incredibly light. He now possessed powerful muscles and the strength of a true warrior. The system began downloading the world's language and memories directly into his brain for instant integration. The massive data dump caused a sharp pain. Manhwa was the bastard son of Archduke 𝐸𝐸𝐸. His father was a monster, a man so strong that even multiple protagonists couldn't easily defeat him. In the original plot, Mon was a pawn. During a ritual to control his mind, he was assassinated. The hero's party had wiped him out effortlessly. He was just a stepping stone for the main cast. He was a disposable support character. As he processed this, the system flashed another urgent mission. Change the fate of destruction. Succeed, and your greatest wish will finally be granted. To a man who was paralyzed and broken in reality, this was the ultimate SSS-Rank lifeline. If this was a dream, he never wanted to wake. Luckily, he knew every secret of this novel. He possessed all the hidden knowledge of this world. It was time to rewrite this tragic destiny. Change the world's fate? It was a gamble worth taking. But Mon's past was truly heartbreaking. Born into a harsh life, his mother died at birth. He was branded a cursed murderer. He lived as a weakling, bullied and broken, unable to fight back against the world's cruelty. Even while starving and being spat upon, he never fought back. Not from weakness, but guilt. The guilt of killing his mother was eating him alive. But then came his life's turning point. Those of 𝐸𝐸𝐸's blood awaken at age 15. They call this ritual the rebirth of blood. It is an agonizing process, like being burned alive, but it grants overwhelming and godlike combat power. For an illegitimate child, the survival rate was under 20%. It was practically a death sentence. Yet, Mon survived. He gained explosive power and followed the final letter his mother had hidden. He traveled to the Archduke's estate, hoping to finally be recognized by the father he never met. According to his memories, he was about to face a brutal trial to prove his worth. But our protagonist knew the truth. Archduke 𝐸𝐸𝐸 was actually one of the story's primary villains. The Archduke had many heirs. There was no way he would ever truly accept a bastard son. Desperate for love, the original Mon was easily manipulated. He was destined to become a mindless hound. The Archduke saw him only as a weapon. After awakening, Mon's power was truly terrifying and legendary. He was so strong that even the original hero struggled against him. But now, everything had changed. Our hero prepared to test his new SSS-Rank strength. Suddenly, the door swung wide open. Mon recognized the supervisor immediately. It was Instructor 2, the elite examiner overseeing today's high-stakes trial. The man possessed formidable power, a true expert. Yet, he still trailed leagues behind Mon's hidden SSS-Rank potential. The boy greeted him with unexpected grace. This composed attitude surprised the instructor, who nodded in silent approval. Today is your advanced evaluation. We will measure your hidden limits to assign appropriate high-ranking future missions. Mon smirked inwardly. He needed a punching bag, and these arrogant fools were the perfect biological targets. As they walked, the instructor warned him to keep his lineage secret. Favoritism would only ruin the test. Mon agreed, but he knew the truth. Rumors of the Grand Duke's son had already spread like wildfire. Secrecy was useless now. The vultures in this place already knew exactly who was stepping into the arena. They reached the training grounds. Several hulking warriors waited there, radiating an intimidating and oppressive combat aura. Seeing their massive builds, things looked challenging. The instructor explained that this trial was strictly about raw power. No weapons were allowed. Only bare-knuckle combat would decide who was worthy of the legendary Venus name. Mon recalled the lore. The Venus family was the continent's ultimate spear, mastering the art of unarmed slaughter. To them, tools were unnecessary. Their very bodies were forged into divine weapons that no steel could match. It seemed impossible to others, but the Venus bloodline possessed a physical constitution that defied all worldly logic. A loud-mouthed warrior stepped forward. Sneering at Monday, he gestured mockingly, clearly underestimating the young boy's strength. "Look at this tiny brat. Let us see if your skills actually match that pretty face of yours. Come here and get crushed, kid." Mon watched him, realizing there was always a brainless thug in every crowd. Typical side character behavior. Mon ignored the insults, focusing entirely on the explosive battle that was about to unfold. Victory here was the only way to prove his absolute dominance before heading to the real killing fields. Mon took a perfect combat stance. Suddenly, the air grew heavy as a terrifying wave of concentration erupted. Like a bolt of lightning, Mon lunged forward. He threw a devastating punch, aimed directly at the man's face. The speed was blinding. The warrior barely reacted, his eyes widening in pure shock at the boy's ferocity. He managed to evade by a hair's breadth. This kid is no amateur. His movements are sharp and lethal. Mon analyzed his opponent's rhythm. My speed is far beyond expectations. My past training is finally paying off. The warrior strained every muscle to defend himself. Mon's strikes were heavy, carrying the weight of a mountain. Exhaustion quickly set in. The elite soldier was forced back, gasping for air against the relentless golden prodigy. "You are monstrously strong. You lied about being a novice, didn't you? No beginner moves like a god." "I have no idea what you mean." Mon's calm denial made the warrior's veins pop with pure, unadulterated rage. "That stance is perfected." Enraged, the man began gathering a massive surge of forbidden internal mana into his fist. The spectators gasped in horror. He was using mana against a trainee. The energy crackled with lethal intent. "Stop! He is just a child." But the instructor stepped in, blocking the intervention with a cold gaze. The old man's face turned grim. He wanted to see how Mon would handle this life-threatening escalation. Mon didn't flinch. Sensing the mana, he shifted his weight, preparing to counter the ultimate strike with ease. "You dare look down on me? I will break you." The warrior roared, losing all sense of professional restraint. He lunged with a mana-infused strike. But Mon moved like a phantom, neutralizing the deadly energy with one hand. Terror filled the warrior's soul. How could a mere rookie possess the power to shatter his strongest technique? Mon decided to end it. He condensed his own overwhelming mana, his arm glowing with a blinding, celestial light. The veteran warrior realized his mistake too late. Years of training meant nothing against this absolute monster's awakening. Boom! A shockwave rocked the arena. The warrior was sent flying, coughing blood as he crashed into the pillars. The audience stood frozen. A 15-year-old boy had just obliterated a seasoned elite with a single, effortless blow. It was insane. A mere rookie had just redefined the meaning of strength by crushing a Venus veteran. Mon walked toward the fallen man with icy indifference. He needed to ensure the lesson was thoroughly carved into him. The warrior struggled to stand, trembling. Mon immediately resumed his stance, ready to finish the job if needed. "You are tough. I'll give you that. You fight like a true soldier, even when your pride is broken." The man cursed under his breath, his ego shattered. Around them, the crowd whispered of a new legend's birth. Everyone wondered where this monster came from. His power was so overwhelming, he feared accidentally killing his opponent. Afraid of a life behind bars, he turned to the instructor. "I cannot control my strength," he warned. "If I continue, I might actually kill him." The instructor frowned, offended by the young man's sheer arrogance. An instructor's duty was to push a candidate to their absolute limits to measure their true potential. No mere student should defeat a master. Angrily, he accused the main character of being a complete liar. His application stated he had 0 combat experience. This sudden display of elite skill felt like pure deception. Though flustered by his own power, Mo insisted he was a novice just swinging his fists at random. "Do you think I'm a fool?" the instructor roared. "How can a beginner manipulate mana so perfectly?" Using mana without formal training was impossible. Realizing he was exposed, Mo quickly feigned total ignorance. "Is this mana? I felt it once during a high fever, but I know nothing about its use." The instructor remained skeptical. Mo began to explain the secrets of his legendary bloodline's miraculous awakening. Mo had mastered mana even before his awakening. His raw talent was a gift from the heavens themselves. The blood of war god Venus and sky goddess Arita resonated within him, creating a divine miracle. This incredible synergy transformed Mo into a unique existence, a being blessed by the god's own genes. Without formal training until age 15, he achieved more in 7 years than most do in a lifetime. He had already surpassed the Grand Duke, the strongest descendant of the war god in history. The stunned instructor scratched his head. If this story was true, he was facing a literal monster. When asked about Vince, Mo claimed they had never met. He truly didn't recognize the elite warrior. Vince was a prodigy who endured hellish training from childhood, yet Mo had crushed him effortlessly. The instructor sighed, announcing the shocking result. Mo passed with 200 points out of 100. When asked about his next move, Mo froze. "How should I know? You haven't explained anything yet." He demanded to know the true purpose of this duel. The intensity in his eyes was truly piercing. The test was merely to determine his rank for placement into the family's specialized training classes. The Venus ducal family utilized 3 rigorous levels of training curriculum for their elite warriors. Only by meeting strict requirements could a student hope to ascend to the next prestigious rank. Completing the final level granted the title of official warrior, though the path was brutally difficult. Most felt like they were punching a brick wall. Mo, however, already knew everything thanks to his system. To the instructor's horror, Mo requested to start at level 1. It felt like a cruel joke. His skills were easily level 3 or higher. The instructor stared in disbelief at the boy's strange request. The main character calmly explained his choice. He needed to master the absolute basics of mana combat first. "Won't I just be promoted once I meet the requirements?" The instructor could only nod at such logic. Though he could have become an official warrior instantly, Mo's strange insistence was impossible to ignore. Exhausted by the debate, the instructor reluctantly agreed. Level 1 it was, despite the obvious overkill. "Don't expect special treatment," he warned. "A guide will arrive tomorrow to begin your basic instruction." With the exhausting exam finally over, everything was settled. Mo returned to his room to finally rest. Collapsing onto his bed, he wondered if the original Mo had ever faced such a trial. The novel-dominating mage never revealed how Mo became the Grand Duke's hidden trump card. In the original story, the Grand Duke manipulated Mo's mind, turning him into a brainwashed killing tool. How did the original version of this man handle the exam? The thought weighed heavily on his mind. Back then, he was a weakling who took beatings without resistance. Would he have ended up in level 1? He finally understood why he was chosen to possess this body. Their spirits were fundamentally different. While the original Mo stayed silent, the new Mo lived to crush injustice and fight for his desires. "I will save this world from its doomed fate." His resolve burned brighter than any flame. To succeed, he had to stop the original protagonist, 𝐼𝐸, from gathering the legendary world fragments. These fragments were pieces of the supreme god's essence, the very foundation of this entire world. The sovereign, the great mage 𝐼𝐸, has finally gathered the world fragments, ascending as the ultimate ruler. But his reign brought ruin. As a god, 𝐼𝐸 slaughtered everyone, enemies and cherished friends alike. This is the chronicle of 𝐼𝐸's descent into madness and the one warrior destined to stop him. I swore to halt his tyranny at any cost. This is my final chance for absolute vengeance. My life as 𝐸𝐸 is over. From today, I rise again under the name Mon. The 𝐸𝐴𝐵's duchy, a land of power centered around a palace of shimmering, golden imperial luxury. Within these walls lie elite training grounds where the nation's strongest warriors are forged in fire. Arriving at Sector 3, a youth informs me, "This dormitory is your new home. Level 1 recruit." After a grueling journey, we arrive near the training fields. There's no time for a moment's rest. A stern man with crossed arms blocks the path. I am Instructor Ha. Remember that. Rookie. Ha's gaze is sharp as he checks my records. Your entrance exam was pathetic for your size. How did a giant like you end up in the lowest class? He sneers, clearly unimpressed. But the mood shifts. He hears I crushed Vince. So, you're actually a hidden monster? His tone softens instantly. With such raw power, why start at the bottom? What are you hiding? I answer calmly. There's no reason to lie. I've never learned to control mana until now. I'm here to master the basics. The instructor breaks into a cold sweat at my raw potential. An untrained recruit defeated a ranked warrior? Ha leads me inside, his mind reeling in shock. I observe the trainees. Even at level 1, they fight with the desperate hunger of true warriors. Ha announces my arrival. The entire class freezes, intimidated by my overwhelming, mountain-like physical presence. Among the sea of men, a few stunning female warriors watch, with intrigued, sharp eyes. Training begins. Looking at these rookies, I wonder, should I just skip to level 3 immediately? Ha interrupts my thoughts. Do you know mana? I admit my control is still dangerously unrefined. Your bloodline has awakened, Ha explains. I'll teach you to refine ether into pure, devastating mana. First is detection, then gathering power. But it seems you've already mastered those instinctually. The final step is basic control and sensory amplification. Master this, and level 2 is yours. I hesitate, overwhelmed by the fast track. Ha offers to teach me the essentials for solo training. Level 2 instructors will fix your form later. I nod. Even the basics are vital foundations. I won't underestimate this. A solid base is required to reclaim my peak, God-slaying strength. 10 minutes later, the entire class stands speechless. I've mastered everything Ha had to offer. Realizing he has nothing left to teach, Ha sighs. You've passed. Level 2 starts tomorrow. Level 2 is brutal. Phase 1. Physical reinforcement. Hardening the body to negate all incoming damage. Phase 2. Limit breaking. Pushing the human vessel beyond its natural capacity through sheer mana friction. Most recruits quit here in agony. For me, I master the entire stage in 30 minutes. Feeling ready, I challenge the instructor to a spar, to skip the remaining ranks instantly. Flustered, Ha waves me off. No need. You're being promoted directly to level 3, monster. But beware, he warns. Level 3 is where the true high bloodline monsters and geniuses reside. Graduating will be a trial by fire. You'll face elite warriors who possess zero mercy. Rank 2 physical tempering begins. First, your body must become an unbreakable iron fortress. This hardened shell nullifies all incoming strikes. Next, your physical limits are completely shattered. You must surpass the strength of mere muscle. This legendary skill breaks even the strongest warriors. While others quit in despair, Mon masters it in 30 minutes. A true monster awakens. Mon immediately challenges the instructor to a duel. The old man is left utterly speechless. He is promoted to rank 3 instantly, but the instructor warns that real hell awaits. Rank 3 is home to those with elite warrior bloodlines. The competition is sheer insanity. Graduation will be a suicide mission. You must face these geniuses with zero advantages. Mon felt a cold sweat. He hadn't mastered a single combat skill, despite the elders' high expectations. Sent straight to grade 2 just because they suspected hidden power. Mon's face was a mask of pure confusion. The examiner patted him. Physicality gets you to grade 2, but grade 3 is where real monsters dwell. Like a wildfire, Mon's legendary reputation surged through every corner of the Vnaz estate within hours. Jaws dropped everywhere. Reaching grade 3 academy level in just 2 days was unheard of in history. Seeking a way to handle this freak, students turned to Fion, the hot-headed genius of the clan. Fion sneered. This newcomer is just a hungry attention seeker trying to impress the great Archduke. I'll show him the true hierarchy of Vnas blood. Not all awakened beings are born equal. Overhearing the chaotic gossip about himself, Mon sighed. Being the center of attention was a massive headache. Standing alone, Mon was approached by Fion. The air grew heavy as the two heirs finally locked eyes. Mon sensed it instantly. This fiery youth carried the same Vnaz bloodline, burning with arrogant intensity. When Mon wondered how long grade 3 would take, Fion's temper exploded like a powder keg. Do you think this place is a joke? Fion roared. But our protagonist remained cool and unfazed. Calm down, Mon replied. I've only been here 30 minutes, and I'm not looking for a fight. Do you expect me to tremble at your petty combat skills? Mon's voice was sharp as a blade. Fion's eyes blazed crimson, his fists erupting in flames. You think you're above us just because you awakened? You aren't the only Vnas heir here. I'll crush that arrogance of yours into the dirt right now. Killing intent flooded the courtyard. The spectators trembled, knowing a bloodbath was about to begin. The crowd whispered in pity. Mon had failed to show respect, and now Fion would demand a price. Without an instructor to intervene, Mon's life hung by a thread. His eyes turned cold and predatory. I won't hold back, even if we share blood, Mon declared. Fion lunged, his mana screaming with rage. Pay for your insolence. Fion's fist, wreathed in devastating energy, swung directly for Mon's face. A massive explosion rocked the academy. Dust and shattered stone filled the air as they finally clashed. The onlookers were horrified. To possess such godlike power before graduation was simply terrifying to behold. Fion was a true combat beast. Everyone prayed that Mon had at least survived the initial strike. As the smoke cleared, the crowd froze. It wasn't Mon on the ground, it was the genius. Fion, is this your limit? Mon mocked. You're nothing but a pathetic bully who preys on the defenseless. Fion clutched his stomach, his pride shattered into pieces. He could only glare in silent, burning agony. Wiping blood from his face, Fion spat out a curse. You just got lucky, you damn dog. Mon didn't even flinch at the threat. His gaze was full of pity for the fallen rival. It wasn't luck. You're just weaker than a commoner. Your strength is nothing but a fragile illusion. Driven by madness, Fion charged again. But Mon moved like a shadow, dodging the strike effortlessly. With a bored expression, Mon delivered a devastating knee strike that folded Fion like paper. A follow-up kick sent Fion flying. He crashed into the wall, leaving deep cracks in the solid stone. Mon sighed in disappointment. Is this the strongest warrior in Grade 3? What a total waste of time. I clearly overestimated the Vnas Academy. This level of combat is honestly beneath my expectations. Perhaps the mana techniques I absorbed in the lower grades were far more potent than I realized. Mon had mastered basic mana by pure instinct. If he's this strong now, his future is limitless. Panicked teammates rushed to Fion's side, desperately trying to help their broken leader back to his feet. Get away from me, Fion barked, his eyes clouded with obsession as he struggled to stand again. You were unconscious for 10 seconds, Mon stated coldly. There is no point in continuing this farce. I was just careless, Fion screamed, his voice cracking with the weight of his utter defeat. Who will you blame on a real battlefield? Your enemies won't wait for you to be ready. The truth stung worse than the blow. Fion's aura exploded as he made one final, desperate charge. Fion unleashes his hidden power and charges. He ignores all warnings, blinded by pure rage. Terrified of a bloodbath, Nien sprints to find the instructor and stop these two monsters. The crowd screams for the main character to flee, yet he remains eerily calm and collected. He coldly analyzes his foe. Fion is channeling blood force, but he's clearly losing control. Just as they prepare to clash again, the instructor suddenly descends upon the chaotic scene. What is this morning racket? He growls. A subordinate explains, the rookie and Fion are brawling. Instead of intervening, the instructor decides to witness this legendary newcomer's true combat potential. Knowing Fion is as strong as an elite soldier, this is the perfect trial for Monday. It is a rare chance to see if this boy possesses a god-tier hidden power. He figures if a rookie dies today, it simply saves the academy some daily rations. Back in the arena, Fion's arm crackles with a lethal surge of high-voltage energy. With a sinister grin, Fion vows to send the main character to his grave today. Suddenly, Fion lunges. He is unleashing a high-level physical burst technique to end it. Using his body as a vessel, he activates Impact, a skill of pure, unadulterated destruction. Mon dances back effortlessly. One direct hit from that would shatter every bone instantly. Don't run, you little chick. Fion taunts, closing the distance for a finishing blow. Fion swings a heavy fist, but the main character sidesteps and lands a blistering counter. Blood sprays as the hit connects. The two warriors continue their fierce, high-speed exchange. Fion is baffled. He can't land a single strike while he keeps tasting Mon's steel. The spectators and the instructor are speechless. This rookie is clearly a hidden dragon. Seeing his top student gasping for air, the instructor begins to feel a cold dread. Playtime is over. Mon mutters, burying a devastating, bone-crushing punch deep into Fion's gut. Fion collapses, coughing up blood. Mon mocks him. Is that all your strength can do? Despite the agonizing pain, Fion's arrogance won't let him stay silent as he barks insults. Shut up. You're just a coward who runs. One hit and you'd be dead meat. Mon's eyes turn cold as ice. He promises the bully a lesson in true power. Fine. No more running. I'll stop being gentle and end your misery right now. Fion charges like a madman, pouring all his blood energy into one final, desperate strike. Mon stands like an immovable mountain. The impact creates a massive cloud of suffocating dust. As the smoke clears, Mon has caught Fion's fist barehanded. You are out of your league. Impact is useless when the gap between us is this vast. Remember this crushing defeat. Gathering immense mana, Mon unleashes a single, world-shaking strike directly into Fion's chest. The overwhelming force sends Fion flying back, leaving him utterly broken and unconscious. Instructor Desley is stunned. Where did this absolute beast of a rookie come from? To defeat Fion without even using a specialized skill is a feat of pure legend. Even the most talented warriors cannot match this pure-blooded, 15-year-old monster of war. The instructor leaves, ordering the other students to take Fion to the infirmary immediately. Fion is left bedridden from his injuries, while Mon is placed under 4 days' arrest. During his isolation, Mon hits the books, preparing for the upcoming academy theory examinations. Thanks to his past life's high-level education, the complex material is incredibly easy for him. Bored of his room, Mon heads outside to stretch his legendary, awakened limbs. Suddenly, the instructor arrives with a stern expression to deliver some shocking news. Expecting a lecture, Mon is stunned. The Grand Duke wishes to have an audience. Fearing he might be expelled, Mon follows the instructor to the waiting carriage immediately. Your name is already spreading like wildfire across the entire academy, the instructor warns. Rumors of the monstrous rookie have officially reached the ears of the highest nobility. Training levels 1 and 2 were laughable. The instructor labeled him a genius. But the truth was far more shocking. A brilliant child, they called him. Yet, whispers spread that Mon was merely desperate for the great Archduke's recognition. Mon scratched his head in disbelief. Why would anyone humiliate themselves just for a gaze? His ambitions were far higher than that. To catch that man's eye, I would choose the path of a supreme warrior, one who stands atop the battlefield. Word reached the Archduke about yesterday's incident. The legendary ruler was now intrigued by the boy. A spark of curiosity was ignited. After all, he had pulverized a mid-tier warrior like he was nothing but trash. But caution was still necessary. Don't stand out too much, they warned. Mon nodded obediently, but destiny had other plans. They finally reached the lion's den. Even from the gates, a monstrous pressure erupted. Mon could feel a tidal wave of energy surging from within the courtyard. There he stood, Archduke Vana himself. An overwhelming aura radiated from his very soul, suffocating everyone in his presence. His physique was that of a literal giant. He faced 10 elite warriors simultaneously with a face of cold, terrifying indifference. A shimmering mana shield repelled every single strike. This was no mere practice session. It was a display of absolute dominance. As his shield cracked, he dismissed his disciples. Then, a crimson sphere began to condense in his palm. The air grew heavy with dread. His eyes turned cold and mysterious. Mon instantly recognized the terrifying technique. It was a skill of god-tier proportions. It absorbs both magic and physical force, then unleashes a devastating counter-shock that obliterates everything in its path. With a flick of his wrist, the energy exploded. A solid stone wall was reduced to dust in a single, blinding flash of power. Yet the Archduke simply sighed in disappointment. Too weak, he muttered, as the dust settled. Mon stood there, completely frozen in awe. If that is weak, then what is true power? The monster walked toward them, his every step echoing like a death knell. They knelt in deep respect before the sovereign. He was a man of action, not words. Stand up, he commanded with authority. I heard you caused quite a stir on the training grounds recently, young man. His voice carried the weight of a mountain. Mon was stunned. There was no anger in his tone. The legendary Archduke looked at his long-lost son with a piercing, analytical gaze. You resemble your mother more than me, he remarked coldly. You awakened your bloodline just this year, didn't you? I heard a simple body reinforcement was enough for you to claim victory. Now, I must see your true worth. He ordered 𝐻𝐵 to test the boy's limits. He wanted to see if his bastard son truly possessed the strength of a 𝐵. 𝐻𝐵 hesitated, fearing he might kill the boy. Mon was still so young, after all. But the Archduke's word was absolute law. He has been wandering the outside world for years. I only wish to measure his potential, so do not hold back too much. 𝐻𝐵 bowed, realizing the gravity of the duel. He approached the young master with respect, outlining the rules of the coming clash. You may choose any weapon you desire, he offered. But Mon found them all too cumbersome. He preferred the raw power of his fists. I have never studied the way of the blade, Mon declared. These hands are all I need. The crowd gasped at his sheer audacity. They stepped onto the arena, tension rising. Without a second's delay, 𝐻𝐵 lunged forward. A lightning-fast strike aimed at the boy. Mon barely evaded the lethal blow. This man was on a completely different level. A true guardian of the Archduke's lineage. You dodged that without using mana? Impressive, 𝐻𝐵 shouted, his excitement growing. The battle was only just beginning to heat up. Their fists clashed in a thunderous rhythm, but Mon quickly realized the terrifying truth. 𝐻𝐵 was a wall he could not overcome. Previous opponents were nothing compared to this. Mon fell to one knee, gasping for air. His stamina was reaching its absolute limit. I admire your spirit, boy, 𝐻𝐵 roared. But surely you are not finished already. Show me everything you are hiding. I won't go easy on you anymore. Mon broke into a cold sweat. The real monster was finally showing his teeth. 𝐻𝐵's aura flared like a rising sun. He was finally tapping into his mana reserves. The 𝐵 bloodline truly was terrifying. Since becoming Mon, I haven't gone all out. Perhaps this guardian is worthy of seeing my true, unbridled strength. No more holding back. No more hiding. Mon prepared to release the floodgates of power that he had kept sealed deep within. He ignited his long-dormant mana reserves. A violent aura enveloped his entire body as the world itself began to tremble. Crimson and blue energies collided in midair. The very atmosphere cracked under the pressure of two titans clashing for supremacy. The Archduke grinned with savage delight. That is my blood flowing through him, he thought. The boy was finally showing his teeth. 𝐻𝐵 was paralyzed with shock and confusion. How could a 15-year-old possess such power? This shouldn't even be physically possible. Mon had always suppressed his god-tier potential. He grew up in the cold shadows, branded as the one who killed his mother. That crushing guilt had acted as a shackle. But today, those chains were finally shattering. The weakling was dead. A warrior was born. 𝐻𝐵 took a serious combat stance at last. The boy was no longer a child. He was a threat that demanded everything. A devastating blow lands with explosive force. Our hero braces for the heavy impact. Bruised but standing firm, he refuses to fall. Even 𝐻𝐵 is impressed by his grit. Mana surges into 𝐻𝐵's right fist. A massive shockwave sends the boy flying back. His energy is fading, his body reaching its limit. Raw willpower is all that remains now. Before he can breathe, 𝐻𝐵 strikes again. A brutal punch rattles his very soul. Crushed by overwhelming power, he slides backward. The gap in their strength is terrifying. I haven't even started yet, 𝐻𝐵 mocks. Don't let this be over so soon. The hunter slowly approaches his battered prey, wondering if the boy can still fight. Pain sears through every nerve in his body. This opponent is on a legendary level. Victory feels like a distant, fading dream. But giving up is not an option. Wiping blood away, he resets his stance. 𝐻𝐵 lunges forward with murderous intent once more. Show me your true strength right now, or prepare to be crushed by weakness. You asked for it, you arrogant bastard. Mo focuses every ounce of hidden power. A heavy swing misses its target completely. 𝐻𝐵 evades with cold, practiced grace. He was told to hide his true potential, but survival demands he breaks the rules. The time for holding back is over. It is time for a legendary counterattack. Their fists collide in a thunderous stalemate. The sudden resistance catches 𝐻𝐵 off guard. Experience is the ultimate weapon in battle. 𝐻𝐵 remains confident he will dominate soon. Veins bulge as mana overflows his arm. A ruthless strike aims straight for the face. Mo blocks the attack with ease, as if catching a child's toy mid-air. Mere luck won't save you today, boy. I can strike 1,000 times more. Less talking and more fighting, old man. Mo sneers at his opponent's empty threats. 500 exchanges pass without a victor. The duel has reached a fever pitch. 𝐬𝐫𝐫 finally recognizes the boy's monstrous talent. This is no longer a simple spar. Such terrifying power at only 15 years old. A true predator is being born here. In a few years, he'll be unstoppable. 𝐬𝐫𝐫 retreats to prepare his final move. A massive mana storm begins to gather. The air grows heavy with killing intent. Blood pulse. He's going for the kill. This is no longer a mere test. Wait! The Archduke suddenly calls a halt. The battle ends, here and now. The father approaches his long-lost son, praising the boy for surviving the ordeal. A 15-year-old rookie awakening so soon? His potential is truly beyond all limits. But one final trial still remains. A terrifying pressure descends upon the arena. Lightning crackles as the Duke strikes hard, testing his son with a lethal blow. Mo clenches his teeth in pure fury. This old man is truly a monster. Resonance is his only chance for survival. He gambles everything on one single move. He recalls the feeling of absolute power, the hidden strength he discovered before now. He must transform his defense into steel. Failure today means certain death tomorrow. His pupils vanish into a ghostly white. Ancient energy awakens deep within his soul. His arm glows with a celestial light, ready to shatter the Duke's ultimate attack. The crowd gasps in total shock. The impossible is unfolding before their eyes. Using resonance at such a young age? He is a genius among legendary warriors. The Duke's attack shatters like fragile glass. Mo stands tall, completely and utterly unharmed. Mimicking a high-level skill instantly, 𝐸𝐵 can't hide his twisted, wicked grin. You are truly my blood, my son. You have exceeded every expectation I had. But Mo knows the dark, hidden truth. To his father, he is just a tool. Treat the weak like trash, and one day, fate will demand its debt. You pass the test. What reward do you crave? Gold? Treasures? Power? I can provide masters or wealth. Speak your desire, my son. The offers were tempting, but Mon's eyes were fixed on a higher goal. He knew his path. He must gather the world fragments immediately. Before Aiden destroys everything, I must secure the fragments to save this world. I want neither gold nor masters. I only wish to challenge the tomb. The Duke frowned. A child entering that cursed abyss alone? It was suicide. I seek the remnants of the god 𝐸𝐵. Grant me entry, father. I must feel my bloodline's origin and awaken my true dormant power. 𝐬𝐫𝐫 scoffed. How childish. Does he not know the tomb's legendary terror? That holy site is for the elite. A bastard has no place there. Entering is a challenge to the main line. It is strictly forbidden. A lowly, illegitimate son cannot step foot into such a sacred sanctuary. The Duke spoke. This child has potential. I expect great things from him. Bastards entering the tomb is rare, but history remembers those who did. In my era, this is a first. Do you truly wish to enter? 𝐬𝐫𝐫 trembled. Mon saw the envy. Everyone craves that divine recognition, to be acknowledged, to shed the shame of being an outcast forever. Entering is the ultimate honor, but you are still too weak and fragile. I know your heart, but your current power is simply not enough. Become a true warrior first. Only then will the tomb open for you. Haste leads to ruin. Mon clenched his fists. I will become the strongest. He bowed politely and left. A cold, burning fire ignited in his soul. Is the boy hiding something? The Duke's eyes narrowed as Mon vanished. He is a mystery. He didn't use his full strength against me. I sensed it too. When he blocked my strike, something shifted. He used mana reinforcement, a feat impossible for a boy his age. His mana control is unrefined, yet his raw output is absolutely massive. His mana levels, they might even surpass the genius of Anna. The Duke hid his shock. Those eyes, they were full of hunger. Every bastard has that look, but his eyes were hauntingly familiar. Just like Gina. You are a truly fascinating child, my son. Hey, back at the academy, Mon remained a shadow, observing everyone in silence. 4 days of boredom. But finally, a chance to learn real power. Suddenly, whispers of the tomb expedition reached his ears. The time is now. 5 outcasts will be chosen. 5 tickets to glory or death. 𝐸𝐫𝐫 and Owen are locks. That leaves only 3 spots left. A dangerous hunt for ancient samples. A trial of blood and steel. The tomb is a living maze. Survive, and the world is yours. For outcasts, this is a death trap. But Mon welcomed the challenge. I will transcend. I will become the warrior this world fears. Instructor Desley's voice boomed. The training of hell begins today. Move it, to the training grounds. No one rests until they break. You're new here. Don't let this hellish training crush your spirit. The instructor sneered, claiming this lesson was far beyond a mere rookie. He barked for someone else to handle the basics. Mon's blood boiled with a desperate thirst for power. Yet this old man preached patience. He shouted back in defiance. Why should I crawl when I was born to fly? I didn't reach rank 3 just to be sidelined by you. The instructor's eyes flared with murderous intent. You've got guts, kid. After crippling one of my men, you expect guidance? Do not mistake my position for a suggestion. How dare a low-life brat like you talk back to your superior? Despite the official orders, the old man refused to treat Mon as a student. He wanted to break his spirit completely. Mon's brow furrowed as he countered the insult. I didn't come here to rot in a corner while you play games. As an instructor, your sole duty is to forge soldiers. You are failing your responsibility. Before he could finish his sentence, a brutal kick slammed into Mon's chest without mercy. Caught off guard, the young warrior stumbled back as the tyrant closed in. Grabbing Mon by the throat, the instructor roared. Silence, worm! Run until your lungs bleed. Do not stop until I say. Perhaps the dirt of this field will teach you the humility your father failed to instill. Start running, now. And listen well. If you cannot recite my lecture by sunset, your punishment will double in the dark of night. A sinister smirk twisted his face. Mon trembled with rage. As the Grand Duke's heir, this was an unbearable humiliation. But this was the protagonist's path. Mon channeled a massive surge of mana, preparing to clash head-on with the tyrant. Shocked by the student's audacity to strike back, the instructor landed a heavy blow that sent Mon reeling backward once more. He loomed over the boy like a shadow. You dare defy me? In this place, my word is the absolute law. One more act of rebellion, and you are expelled. Do you understand your place yet? Answer me, you miserable wretch. Wiping the blood from his lip, Mon checked his reflection. If this bastard ruins my face, my hero career is over. He prepared to strike, but then remembered his ultimate mission. He had to save the world, no matter the cost. Getting expelled now would strip him of his right to the warrior trials. He had to swallow his burning pride. Just keep laughing, old man. Your time is coming. With a forced nod, Mon began his grueling, endless marathon. As Mon faded into the distance, Daisley whispered to the wind, You won't survive my tutelage, you arrogant little brat. From that day on, the instructor's malice knew no bounds. He targeted Mon relentlessly, magnifying every tiny mistake into a crime. Daisley was a man drunk on petty authority. He couldn't stand anyone who dared to question his absolute reign of terror. He found twisted ways to suppress and crush the spirits of those who stood tall, all under the guise of discipline. It was legalized abuse masked as elite training. A systematic attempt to break the strongest will into a submissive tool. No one dared to intervene. This was how the old fox maintained his iron grip over the entire training academy. Despite the torture, Mon pushed his body beyond human limits. He endured the insults, while his inner power grew like wildfire. Training? This is just a coward's way of bullying, Mon realized, his heart turning into a cold, sharp blade of vengeance. He understood the instructor's fear. That brief display of mana had proven Mon was a threat to his fragile ego. Thirsty from his own tirade, Daisley left the exhausted Mon behind to go enjoy a cold, refreshing drink in the shade. Reclining in his chair, the tyrant felt a shiver of doubt. His absolute throne felt less stable than ever before. How can he still stand? He hissed. Most recruits would have begged for mercy or surrendered their dreams by now. But this bastard child was different. He was made of something harder than steel and more dangerous than any soldier. How could an untrained outcast become such a terrifying monster in so little time? It defied all logic of the academy. If words won't break you, I'll bury you under impossible trials. You will kneel before me eventually, Mon. After weeks of enduring hell, Mon stood tall and made a shocking declaration. He demanded to take the warrior's final exam. He was done being the old man's punching bag. The entire academy gasped at the sheer audacity of his sudden claim. He had beaten Fion, yes, but challenging the warrior's trial so soon seemed like a direct leap into a grave. Daisley erupted in mocking laughter. A warrior? You? You haven't learned a single thing worth a damn from me. Mon stepped forward, his eyes burning with an SSS-Rank intensity. "And what exactly have you taught besides corruption and cowardice? You are a disgrace to this uniform. You have no right to teach anyone in this legendary hall." The instructor turned purple with fury. "Arrogant trash. I am the final judge. I decide who lives and who fails. You think I'll grant you the trial? You've shown zero progress, and nothing but a talent for being a nuisance." Mon didn't flinch. He knew the laws better than the tyrant. He was ready to shatter his chains and ascend. "Listen closely. I am officially challenging you to a sacred spirit clash." The instructor's face turned a violent shade of purple. Was this brat suicidal? The spirit clash was no joke. It was an ancient, death-defying ritual of ultimate combat. It was a hallowed tradition for warriors who lived by the blade, a way to prove their absolute worth. Might makes right in this world. This ritual was the ultimate stage to display the power granted by the gods. When warriors reached a bloody impasse, they signed their souls to the spirit clash to settle the score once and for all. In the end, the winner is always right. The old man trembled, wondering how a 15-year-old knew such forbidden laws. "Allow me to educate you," Mo sneered. "According to the ancient laws of Vnas, even a lowly trainee can demand a duel. Through this spirit clash, I will prove you are utterly unqualified to be my superior or my teacher." Legend says God Vnas grew up in the shadows, his true potential suppressed by those who feared his light. Those wretched oppressors were the very ones meant to guide him. They were the original corrupt instructors of old. God Vnas later decreed to his bloodline, "Incompetent tyrants who abuse their rank to crush others shall never be forgiven." Haunted by his own past suffering, he granted every trainee the divine right to challenge their master's authority. It was a final sanctuary for the gifted to reclaim their dignity through a trial of blood and steel. Daisley lunged forward, grabbing Mo's collar in a frenzy. "A pathetic recruit like you thinks he can invoke a sacred right?" Mo remained chillingly calm, his eyes like ice. "You realize you have zero authority to refuse this challenge, right?" He violently brushed the instructor's hand away and marched toward the crowd of stunned, silent students. Taking a deep breath, he unleashed a sudden wave of mana that made the very air vibrate with pressure. "I, Trainee Mo, hereby challenge Level 3 Instructor Daisley to a formal spirit clash duel. Witness my claim." A heavy dread filled the room. The students knew Daisley was a seasoned killer, not someone to be trifled with. "Shut your damn mouth!" Daisley roared, his pride crumbling as the situation spiraled out of his control. "Accept or hide," Mo countered. "But if you decline, your prestige and power will vanish before these witnesses today." Cornered by his own arrogance, the instructor hissed through gritted teeth. "You won't survive the sunset, you little bastard." Mo laughed at the empty threats. He had heard enough barking from a dog that was about to be put down. "You still don't understand the gravity of your situation. This isn't just a duel. It's your final warning. Decide now. I don't have time to bicker with a power-tripping coward who hides behind a title." Suddenly, Mo's mana exploded outward. The instructor froze, feeling a predatory pressure he had never encountered before. He couldn't comprehend it. How could a 15-year-old boy possess such a monstrous and refined aura? Was the previous fight just a facade? Daisley realized he couldn't back down, regardless of the boy's hidden genius. With a grimace, he officially accepted the challenge. It was a one-on-one battle for survival and reputation. "A wise choice," Mo smirked. "And as the challenger, the law says I choose the time and the battlefield. I have urgent matters to attend to first. We shall settle this when I am ready. Don't go anywhere." He turned his back and walked away, throwing one last taunt. "Try to keep that pathetic composure until then, old man." Daisley was boiling with murderous intent, but Mo's noble status made him untouchable outside the ritual circle. Word of the unprecedented spirit clash challenge between a recruit and an instructor spread like wildfire through the camp. When the news reached Kesner, a dark, intrigued smile crossed his face. This is becoming quite the spectacle. Mo was clearly no ordinary student. His sheer audacity was something the Empire hadn't seen in decades. "Ready the carriage for training center. 3 immediately," Kesner commanded. "I wouldn't miss this massacre for the world." The day of the duel arrived. The training grounds were packed with students whispering about the madman trainee. First, he hospitalized the class ace, and now he was hunting his own teacher. It was legendary madness. Despite his years of experience, Daisley was visibly shaken, appearing in full enchanted armor while Mo stood empty-handed. Mo greeted him with a sharp grin. "I expected you to flee. Showing up in all that gear, you must be terrified." Arrogant whelp. Today, I will carve the meaning of despair into your very soul. You will regret this. Their gazes locked like clashing blades. The atmosphere was thick with killing intent, waiting for the first drop of blood. Just as the tension reached its breaking point, 𝐻𝐵𝐺 arrived, his presence halting the impending chaos. As Mo greeted the high noble with perfect elegance, 𝐷𝐸 felt a cold realization sink into his gut. A legendary witness appears. 𝐻𝐵𝐺 arrives, drawn by rumors of a divine soul battle breaking out in this very arena. Watching a trainee face a seasoned instructor. It has been ages since such a thrilling spectacle graced these hallowed grounds. This young man is my half-brother, Mon reveals. I had no choice. He constantly suppresses and targets my every move. He never taught me anything, only seeking flaws. What was I supposed to do? Mon's voice drips with pure resentment. 𝐻𝐵𝐺 warns the arrogant youth. Master 𝐷𝐸 may be past his prime, but do not underestimate his veteran combat instincts. The older the ginger, the spicier it gets. Hearing the praise, the old man sneers, vowing to make Mon pay. You will regret this day. 𝐷𝐸 demands a formal witness to ensure no one claims he is bullying a rookie. Since no witness is present, 𝐻𝐵𝐺 takes the role. 𝐷𝐸 is stunned, suddenly fearing he might be under heavy scrutiny. Displeased, the old man hesitates. The golden-haired 𝐻𝐵𝐺 frowns, scolding him for showing such blatant disrespect to his superior. Are you mocking me? Do you want to lose your job? It seems I have been quiet too long for you. Do you think your power equals a count? Even if you were my teacher, you have crossed a dangerous line today. Realizing his foolishness, the instructor bows. Inside, he seethes this brat, shares his blood, but respects no one at all. The hour of destiny arrives. 𝐻𝐵𝐺 finds a seat, watching closely as the tension in the air reaches boiling point. Do not fail, 𝐻𝐵𝐺 warns. As the Grand Duke's son, losing here would bring eternal shame upon our noble bloodline. The bell tolls. Young versus old, they enter the ring, spirits clashing before a single blade is even drawn out. Seeking a swift victory, 𝐷𝐸 ignites a terrifying mana aura. His blade glows crimson, radiating heat that scorches the floor. Not to be outdone, Mon unleashes a massive mana wave, standing tall and inviting his opponent to strike with everything. 𝐷𝐸 breaks into a cold sweat. He never taught Mon these techniques. How can this weakling wield such overwhelming force? Like a bolt of lightning, Mon uses the shadowless step. He closes the distance instantly, catching the veteran completely off guard. 𝐷𝐸 barely draws his sword. Two titanic mana forces collide, threatening to tear the very atmosphere of the arena apart. A test of raw power. Using his youthful vigor, Mon forcefully pushes the old instructor back, dominating the exchange completely. 𝐷𝐸 strains every muscle to stop his momentum. Fear begins to crawl up his spine like a cold, dark predator. He is just a kid, yet his strength is monstrous. Panicked and unsure, 𝐷𝐸 sees Mon closing in once again. A heavy fist flies at his face. 𝐷𝐸 is forced to burn mana, desperately reinforcing his shield to survive impact. You are talented, but reckless, 𝐷𝐸 mocks, noticing Mon's total lack of defense. He scoffs at the boy's amateur style. Power is not everything. Experience is the master. You are merely a beginner, playing with mana you cannot yet control. You need years of training to stand against me. You are still just a small child in my veteran eyes. Blocking with his shield, 𝐷𝐸 retaliates with a lethal sword strike. Despite Mon's speed, the veteran's blade finds its mark. A red line appears on our protagonist's face. 𝐷𝐸 retreats, gathering momentum like a hungry leopard preparing for the kill. He lunges forward. I have survived countless death matches, while you are just a brat who knows nothing of war. You dared to look down on me? You will pay a heavy price in blood for your arrogance today, boy. Blade after blade rains down on Mon. One wrong move means certain death. The protagonist must find a way through. Realizing mana alone will not win, Mon somersaults backward. He needs a better strategy to overcome this wall of experience. The sting of the wound humbles him. Mon admits the old man is right. Combat experience is a warrior's lethal weapon. It is the one thing he lacks. Watching from the sidelines, 𝐻𝐵𝐺 grows anxious as his brother's momentum begins fading. If the boy loses now, he will be banished. That is exactly what the treacherous 𝐷𝐸 has been planning all. What will he do? Mon, once aggressive, is now purely on the defensive. The instructor laughs, sensing victory is near. Scared already? I will feed you your own teeth soon. The veteran's taunts are venomous, aiming to shatter Mon's spirit. Mon's eyes turn razor sharp. You are a foolish old man, he growls. You have proven you are unfit to lead. Daisley wears a punchable smirk, waiting for Mon's next move. He mocks the boy, completely underestimating the coming storm. Suddenly, the earth trembles. Thick dust clouds rise as Daisley cowers behind his shield, sensing an ominous power awakening. As the shockwave fades, a new Mon emerges. His hair has turned snow white, and his eyes glow with heavenly light. The SSS-Rank awakening is here. Mon walks forward slowly, his presence heavy. In this world, the strongest have final say. Mon transforms. His hair turns snow white and his eyes glow with a terrifying, pale light. Mon steps forward with cold dominance. In this world, only the strongest have a voice. My primeval blood awakens. This power is uncontrollable. Watch your life, old man. 𝐸𝐺's bloodlines typically manifest at age 15, granting them the fabled primeval power. Most sacrifice this blood power to boost mana, ignoring the true path to godhood. Total mastery over this awakening grants absolute, unrivaled dominance. Kessner watches, his heart racing. Anxiety mixes with awe. Even as a genius, Kessner needed 4 years to awaken. Despite being a prodigy, it took 4 long years to manifest my holy light. Yet in just 8 days, this monster has reached an impossible level of strength. Seeing Mon's overwhelming aura, the instructor freezes, paralyzed by pure, primal fear. He can't believe such a rapid awakening. He's definitely about to meet his end. Mon taunts him. Only your pride remains. Give up now or lose everything. Daisley, on the brink of defeat, still barks. A mere recruit cannot surpass me. Like a lightning bolt, Mon closes the distance, whispering a cold, mocking truth. He gathers a devastating vortex of energy, preparing to crush the old man's skull. The arrogant instructor raises his shield, foolishly believing he can withstand this divine blow. Underestimating his foe was fatal. His defense shatters, and he's sent flying backward instantly. Bitter resentment fills him. Mon gazes at his hand, mocking the instructor's pathetic state. Was that too much? Mon sneers. I was only trying a fraction of my power, refusing to lose to a 15-year-old. The instructor desperately tries to stand despite his wounds. If he fails now, his reputation is dead. Even with a shattered arm, he persists. Discarding his shield, he draws his steel, lunging at Mon with murderous, desperate intent. Faced with a cornered beast, most would retreat. But Mon only feels a cold thrill. He's been craving a real fight. Let's see how much life this old dog has. Mon dances around the strikes, effortlessly dodging. Daisley's rage boils as his blade hits air. While playing with his prey, Mon's eyes remain sharp, analyzing every desperate movement and flaw. Kessner watches the one-sided slaughter, his jaw dropping at the sheer gap in skill. The instructor tries a desperate sneak attack, a move worthy of praise in any battle. But 𝐸𝐺's warriors have bodies harder than steel. To an awakened, swords are mere toys. Deciding the play is over, Mon speaks. You are no longer worthy of being my teacher. Daisley stares at his beloved blade, shattered by the reality of his own absolute weakness. Decades of battlefield training, yet he can't even touch a child? It makes no sense. Mon looms over him, his presence suffocating. The time for games and false nobility is over. Even in this pathetic state, you still try to act superior? How truly laughable, Mon mocks. Boiling with rage, Daisley pours his final drops of mana into one last, desperate strike. Mon catches the blade with his bare hand, his newly awakened strength making it look easy. We are of the war god's blood. Our flesh is the ultimate weapon of destruction. Did you truly believe such a toy could harm me? You are incredibly naive, old man. Having burned through his mana for nothing, the instructor coughs blood and collapses in despair. Not wanting to slaughter an old man, Mon offers a final, polite chance to surrender. As the instructor resists, Mon releases a demonic aura that makes the very earth tremble. One last warning, Mon whispers. Refuse to yield now, and your life ends this second. Broken and defeated, the once proud instructor bows his head, surrendering to the 15-year-old monster. Kessner, witnessing the end, realizes the true terror of the 𝐸𝐺 family's forgotten bloodline. This supposed bastard awakened in 8 days a feat that defies every law of nature. Utilizing the war god's soul, he systematically dismantled his master with terrifying, cold precision. His potential is immeasurable. This legendary battle was just the beginning of his absolute reign. The legend of the 15-year-old rookie began. After only 8 days, the Academy's hierarchy was shattered. News of the upset spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of 𝐼𝐚𝐫𝐫𝐢𝐵, the 7th bloodline descendant. Intrigued by this mysterious genius, she sought him out. Even the Grand Duke marveled at the victory over 𝐸𝐸. Mon was summoned to the palace for his reward. His father noted the boy lacked even a single battle scar. Amidst the heavy silence, Mon didn't flinch. He demanded his promised prize. The right to conquer the dungeon. The Grand Duke hesitated, concerned for his son. A mere novice entering such a death trap seemed suicidal. Yet, Mon's resolve was ironclad and unmoving. The Duke leaned in, questioning why his son had hidden such power. Facing a gaze sharp enough to cut steel, Mon remained completely unshaken and remarkably calm. He claimed he was simply refining his mana control, masking his true awakening behind a veil of humble excuses. Though the Duke sensed a lie, he saw Mon's utility. He finally granted access to the legendary tomb of the God-Slayer. Shocked by this reckless decision, a guard intervened. He warned that regular soldiers would surely protest such favoritism. "Your Grace, please reconsider," the guard pleaded. "Sending a boy before seasoned warriors will cause an uproar." Infuriated by the interruption, 𝐼𝐚𝐫𝐸𝐵's eyes flashed with rage. He looked ready to execute the insolent subordinate on the spot. Sensing the overwhelming killing intent, the guard trembled. He immediately begged for mercy, realizing he had overstepped his bounds. Spared only for his son's sake, the guard retreated. The Duke then turned to Mon with a low, commanding voice. "A promise is a promise. You may enter the tomb. Whatever weapons or support you need, they are yours instantly." Mon bowed, hiding a triumphant smirk within his heart. Finally, the chance to claim the first world fragment was here. The next morning, Kessner led Mon to the ominous entrance. The tomb of the God-Slayer radiated a bone-chilling aura. The atmosphere was thick with death and ancient shadows, a place where the faint-hearted would surely perish from fear. Only one person could enter the trial at a time. Kessner watched his brother with heavy, worried eyes. "Listen carefully," Kessner warned. "No one can help you inside. As long as you breathe, you are on your own." Mon felt a cold sweat break across his brow. The dungeon's scale was far more massive than any myth suggested. Buried deep beneath the Grand Duke's territory lay this abyss. Its sheer magnitude was enough to overwhelm the senses. Despite a decade in this land, Kessner was stunned. He had never seen anyone brave enough to challenge this trial. He couldn't fathom what Mon hoped to find inside, but he trusted the Duke's judgment of the boy's hidden strength. With a final word of caution, the brothers parted ways. Mon slowly approached the gate, swirling with demonic energy. A flicker of doubt crossed his mind as the air grew heavy. Perhaps he should have waited until his power peaked further. According to the legends of the 𝐼𝐚𝐫𝐸𝐵 bloodline, the God-Slayer had transcended death itself to reach divinity. He fulfilled humanity's destiny and ascended to the heavens. This tomb was built by the family to honor what remained. It held the lingering human traces of the God-Slayer. 7 years from now, the original protagonist was meant to find it. In the novel, Aiden needed a full team to survive this place. Yet here Mon stood, ready to rewrite fate alone. The legendary world fragment was still waiting in the dark. With a cold gaze, Mon pushed open the heavy doors. The interior defied all logic and previous descriptions. It was a world entirely different from the novel's pages. 6 distinct formations governed the God-Slayer's tomb. The novel had only ever revealed a fraction of its secrets. Regardless of the layout, a single hidden seal existed. To pass the trial, Mon had to find the sacred mark. A statue representing the God-Slayer's life was the key. There was no turning back now. The die was cast. Mon began his careful investigation of the silent sanctuary. He scanned every shadow, searching for any sign of the seal. Just as he noticed a flaw in the tomb's design, a low, guttural growl echoed from the darkness behind him. He turned instantly, sensing a predator's murderous intent. A hellhound had emerged to welcome him to the abyss. The beast's eyes glowed crimson, its fur wreathed in flames. It stalked toward him, bearing teeth that dripped with fire. Then, a second shadow emerged from the gloom nearby. Mon sighed, seemingly annoyed rather than truly terrified. The wolves lunged with jaws wide, aiming for his throat. Their fiery breath scorched the very air around them. But Mon wasn't worried about the danger of the fight. He was simply disappointed he lacked the spices to cook them. With a bored expression, he cut down both beasts instantly. Disappointed by the lack of loot, he continued his trek. After wandering through the maze of death for hours, Mon finally laid eyes upon the chamber of the sacred seal. The statue before him looked nothing like the system's initial description. This world felt like a cheap knockoff as he leaped to loot. He jumped with ease, discovering a smaller statue of the hero's youth. This legendary warrior slew the two-headed beast. He offered his blood. Luckily, he read the novel. Otherwise, this task would be fatal. Breaking the seal, he landed gracefully and continued his dark mission. The journey grew harder as endless monsters emerged from the shadows. Hell snakes and lava wolves appeared alongside the walking dead. After clearing the path, a giant python blocked the narrow alley. These starving monsters attacked with desperate, bloodthirsty hunger for prey. The python lunged with jaws wide, but our hero stood unfazed. With calm precision, he channeled mana and punched the beast's face. His awakened power sent it to hell, terrifying the mutant crows. After hours of searching, 5 seals were finally destroyed. He was thrilled. The first world map fragment was within reach. The mobs were weak but numerous, draining his precious mana reserves. Exhausted, he finally located the imposing 6th and final seal. It looked far more powerful than the previous 5 combined. Suddenly the earth shook as a massive monster loomed behind him. He recognized the beast that even elite magic swordsmen struggled against. Despite poor mana, its physical stats were completely off the charts. He dodged the ogre's strike easily thanks to his SSS-Rank reflexes. This wasn't a normal mob. It was a true physical boss. A direct hit meant certain death, so he moved like lightning. As the ogre missed, he leaped with mana focused in his hand. His strike shattered its face, spraying blood like a crimson storm. The giant staggered back, but its massive hand grabbed him suddenly. The beast slammed him into the wall, creating a cloud of dust. After facing minor demons, he finally met a truly terrifying nightmare. Coughing blood, he realized his strongest attack hadn't finished it yet. The ogre charged again with glowing red eyes and murderous intent. Facing the god of death, he gritted his teeth and prepared. He activated the secret technique he had mastered just yesterday. The ogre was stunned. Realizing this human was the real monster, enough games. He unleashed a devastating surge of holy lightning. The massive blast sent the creature flying across the cold ground. Armed with godlike power, he walked confidently toward his foe. The ogre roared in fury, wanting to devour him whole instantly. Disgusted by its stench, he leaped and punched with explosive mana. The impact cracked the air itself like a falling meteor strike. His awakened bloodline was absolute, turning the beast's head to dust. He sighed, wishing he had used that overwhelming power much earlier. In this dungeon at age 15, he proved his legendary potential. His knowledge and battle experience would ensure his ultimate world dominance. Standing before the statue, his new life finally began. Mon sensed something was off. This statue stood twice as tall as the others, but size didn't matter. He leaped high, dripping a single drop of blood to break the ancient curse. Just like before. 10 minutes passed in silence. Nothing happened. Panic began to rise in Mon's chest. What went wrong? According to the novel, the legendary world fragment should have appeared by now. The procedure was perfect. Frustrated, he turned back to see if he'd missed any details. Suddenly, a voice echoed behind him. I expected my descendant to be much more patient. Mon spun around in shock. The stone statue had vanished, replaced by a towering man. A mountain of muscles stood before him. Do not fear, the man spoke with authority. I have waited long for you. Mon recalled why he came here. This was the Earth God's tomb. Aiden had found a world fragment here. Mon knew this place's secrets, or so he thought. The novel never mentioned this. A statue coming to life was beyond any written records. Mon demanded to know his identity. His aura flared, catching the old man's attention. The stranger smirked in praise. Losing patience, Mon charged forward, launching a desperate strike. Too reckless, the man muttered. He stood still, letting Mon's punch land directly. With a burst of inner power, Mon was sent flying high into the cavern walls. He'd attacked the wrong person. Before he could apologize, the man lunged forward. Let's teach you some manners. Despite his white hair, the man moved like lightning. Even in his peak SSS state, Mon couldn't react. A heavy fist slammed into his chest. The pain was excruciating. This was no ordinary strike. It was a god-level blow. Mon crashed into the floor. The impact shook the earth, burying him in thick dust. As the dust cleared, Mon barely remained conscious, crushed by the sheer pressure. This power defied imagination. Just moments ago, he was nothing but cold stone. Now, he was a flesh-and-blood warrior, striking with perfect, undeniable precision. Unbelievable. The man approached the fallen Mon to reveal the truth of his existence. He was indeed a statue. The shadow of the Earth God, VNAS, manifested in flesh. Cold sweat poured down Mon's face. This tomb held the god's mortal remains and consciousness. This was his human resting place. The novel's descriptions were finally making sense. The statues weren't just carvings. They were vessels housing his ancient, undying will. His spirit lived within the stone. Seeing Mon recover, the elder prepared his next move. He struck like a thunderbolt. "It's been too long." He laughed while pummeling Mon's face. A living sandbag had arrived. Time to stretch these old bones with some serious violence. With overwhelming experience, he showed no mercy, breaking through Mon's desperate defenses. "You need more training," he mocked. Insulted and broken, Mon's pride began to burn. "Stop playing around," Mon roared. "Hit me with everything you've got." Rage fueled his spirit. The elder grinned. This fearlessness was the mark of a true, worthy descendant. He threw a bone-shattering punch. Mon knew tanking this would mean certain death. He pivoted, sliding back with incredible speed. Even the ancestor was caught off guard. Mon concentrated massive mana into his palm, unleashing a mountain-level counter-strike. The old man stayed calm. To him, this terrifying power was merely child's play. He didn't even look. In a fraction of a second, he vanished from Mon's path. He countered with 10 times the force, striking the rookie with a tidal wave of mana. The air itself began to crack. Mon's defense shattered instantly, sending him soaring once more. "You're still green," the elder laughed. Like a hawk, he tore through the sky after him. 1,000 fists rained down. A lesson in respect for this insolent young brat. The ancestor was ecstatic. Finally, a living sandbag to satisfy his hunger. Mon stared at his shattered reflection, unable to believe this nightmare was his reality. The power gap was an abyss. He couldn't even graze the legendary statue's cheek. If the statue was this monstrous, how terrifying was the man alive? Mon collapsed, exhausted. Broken and defenseless, he lay still. The old man kicked him into a cold corner. "Is this it?" The old man sighed, clearly disappointed by the boy's pathetic weakness. Fueled by pure spite, Mon screamed for silence, forcing his broken body upright again. Suddenly, his hair faded back to black. The blood awakening had reached its absolute limit. The old man sneered at the sight. "Pathetic. Is that all your power can do? Your state crumbled so easily? My descendants have truly become nothing but weaklings. I won't kill you. You're dying anyway." "Do you believe I'm a god yet, boy?" Mon stammered, questioning if he faced the legendary war god Vnas, or a mere ghost. "Call me Vnas. You're the first to wake me from this eternal slumber, my descendant." "How long has it been?" Mon whispered the truth. 500 years. The man froze. Half a century without a single visitor? The old man felt a sudden, heavy sorrow. Mon explained the tragedy. A bloody civil war erupted shortly after the god's holy ascension. The losers fled with ancient artifacts, hiding secrets deep within the ruins of the past. In the future, those secrets would fall into the wrong hands, changing destiny forever. The old man turned away in shame. Everything he built had finally crumbled to dust. "My lineage inherited my temper, but none of my legendary strength," he lamented bitterly. "At least you aren't like them. But do you even know what awakening truly means?" Mon looked confused. The old man barked. "Then why did you bleed on my statue?" "To get the shard," Mon answered. Inside, he panicked. This wasn't in the original novel. The old man realized his purpose. He was here to teach the forbidden blood manifestation. Mon questioned him. "If that's the goal, why didn't you just teach your own children?" He sighed heavily. "Not everyone has the talent to master the peak of our power. True blood manifestation depends entirely on the purity of one's own divine bloodline. Mixing with humans thinned the god blood, making this power nearly impossible to reach now. Later generations struggle to wield it. Mastery requires a teacher who truly understands the source. This tomb is your training ground, a stage to turn power into pure, lethal instinct." Only through brutal instinct can you wield the blood energy with absolute, divine perfection. Compared to 5 centuries ago, your blood is thin. Yet, you broke the ultimate taboo. Archduke Vnas was labeled a criminal for defying the limits of his own diluted blood. Mon realized this was his shot. He had to perfect this legendary manifestation technique. "Tell me," Mon demanded with fire in his eyes, "what is your secret training method?" The old man's grin turned predatory. Endless, grueling combat. Over and over again, Mon felt a chill. This training might actually kill him before he ever succeeds. "Don't look at me like that," the old man roared. "Modern kids are far too soft. The Godslayer blood has thinned over 500 years. Vnas's ancient crime is finally revealed. He broke the ultimate blood taboo." Mon finds this entire history lesson incredibly annoying. This is his golden opportunity. If he can manifest the god blood, he becomes invincible. Realizing the power requires brutal perfection, he prepares to ground his soul into reality. Mon demands the secret training method. The old man's answer is simple. Endless, bloody combat, constant life and death battles. The instructor's creepy, intense expression makes Mon's skin crawl. Mon is stunned by the insanity. He might die before he even learns the technique. "You are too soft." The instructor explains the 3 terrifying stages of the dungeon vortex. Observing his grandson clutch his broken ribs, the old man delivers a light touch, causing the agonizing pain to vanish instantly. He reveals 2 secrets. In this realm, wounds and mana regenerate immediately. Second, I am not your true opponent. Mon is left stunned, wondering who his foe could be. Suddenly, a nearby wall shatters into a million pieces. From the billowing smoke, a muscular young man slowly emerges. Seeing that cocky expression, Mon realizes the shocking truth. This is the legendary war god, but at only 10 years old. His hair has not yet turned its signature silver. It seems he hasn't reached the stage of fully manifesting the divine bloodline's true and absolute destructive power. Years later, he would possess pale gray eyes and silver hair upon fully releasing his legendary awakened bloodline. The old man notes that since Mon saw him earlier, no introduction is needed. "This boy is your rival." The arrogant youth flexes his massive muscles, declaring he will finish Mon with just one single, crushing punch. He mocks Mon, calling him a weakling, and telling him to run before he suffers a shameful loss to a child. Despite being 10, his physique is terrifying. Intimidated, Mon activates his bloodline power to begin the desperate duel. Mon's newly awakened power is still raw and unrefined. The boy scoffs, not even bothering to take a fighting stance. Furious at being looked down upon, Mon buffs his fists with mana and charges straight at the arrogant brat. The youth doesn't even dodge, waiting to see Mon's tricks. In less than 10 seconds, Mon is face down on the earth. Tasting the dirt, Mon hears the boy ask the old man if this weakling is truly his bloodline descendant. The old man is equally baffled, wondering why someone who held out before has suddenly become so pathetically weak. Realizing Mon lacks basic combat skills and fights purely on instinct, the boy sits down to question him further. Knowing lies will only bring more pain, Mon confesses he has never had a single teacher in his entire life. Having only spent 8 days at the academy before falling here, he shares his entire tragic and difficult history. He explains his journey and how the Grand Duke's bloodline was suppressed. The old man sighs in deep understanding. He shakes his head at Mon's recklessness, but promises to teach him how to defeat this young, monstrous version. Under the world's strongest master, Mon stands tall, ready to challenge his 10-year-old self in an epic rematch. The old man reveals the secret strategy. To win, Mon must strike at the boy's overwhelming and blinding pride. Baffled, Mon enters the fray. 11 rounds pass with Mon doing nothing but running to avoid taking fatal damage. Listening to the old man's guidance, Mon pours all his strength into a sudden, massive offensive on the brat. He unleashes a barrage of heavy punches, but the skill gap is massive. He cannot even touch a single hair. The boy mocks him, standing still and refusing to strike back while observing Mon's reckless and defenseless fighting style. Seeing the opening, the boy strikes. A punch hits Mon's face faster than the human eye can possibly follow. Mon is sent flying in pain, but the realm's instant recovery restores his body and mana reserves immediately. He charges back in relentlessly. 74 rounds pass, yet Mon still hasn't landed a single clean, successful hit. Infuriated, he lunges again, altering his punch's trajectory. but he is still far too slow for the young genius. The brat dodges while picking his nose, showing total contempt. Mon realizes he is trapped in a true nightmare. Just as predicted, the boy ducks and delivers a devastating spinning kick that launches Mon high into the sky. Mon collapses back to Earth, his mana completely drained. He stares in shock at the monster standing before him. If he's this strong at 10, what about 20 or 30? He begins to regret ever stepping into this place. The youth punches a hole in the wall to intimidate him further. Get up and eat more dirt, weakling. After recovering his strength, the two clash again like wild beasts. By round 272, things change. Mon finally begins to read the boy's patterns. Closing the distance, he prepares to unleash his secret trump card. Instead of a basic attack, Mon uses Blink to teleport skyward, catching the boy completely off guard and stunned. As a shadow looms from above, it is far too late. A powerful kick lands squarely on the boy's face. The boy's head slams into the floor, shattering the arena. Mon and the old man cheer in absolute triumph. He finally landed a hit after hundreds of rounds. But joy turns to fear as the boy suddenly vanishes. The old man and Mon burst into laughter, finally savoring the extreme satisfaction of landing that first successful blow. But as the dust clears, the boy who was just knocked down has completely disappeared from the arena floor. Suddenly, a familiar voice whispers right behind him, sending a wave of pure terror through Mon's entire soul. The predator smirked. Mon's combat instincts were evolving rapidly. The true slaughter begins. No more restraint. With a demonic grin, the monster lunged for the kill. Overwhelming pressure erupted. Mon trembled, bracing his soul against the coming storm. His internal energy flickered. Step by agonizing step, he was forced into retreat. His body reached its limit. He looked toward the elder, desperate for salvation, but the old man watched silently, coldly indifferent to his grandson's life or death. The predator snapped. A mana-infused fist slammed directly into Mon's jaw. Blood sprayed like crimson rain. The opponent laughed like a maniacal, bloodthirsty god. Mon was utterly spent. With nowhere to run, he prepared for the end. 1,000 strikes fell. He became nothing more than a human punching bag, launched into the heavens, then hammered back down into the shattered earth. Recovery was impossible under this storm. The relentless assault denied him any peace. Mon lay shattered in the dirt. He couldn't even lift a single finger anymore. A massive shadow loomed over him. The young god hoisted a giant statue high. Impact! The earth groaned. The predator sat atop the ruins, mocking his prey. Was he finally dead? From the wreckage, Mon crawled out, gasping for air. Survival earned him brief praise. But the beast attacked again without a pause. A lethal strike aimed for the soul. Mon faced a monster brimming with energy. His mana pools were dry. The True Blood awakening felt like a distant dream. 8 seconds left. He just needed 8 seconds to flip the script. Wait, Mon wheezed. Are the eyes of our bloodline truly so vulnerable? A perfect distraction. He hurled a jagged stone directly at the god's eye. A direct hit. The predator recoiled in agony as the clock ticked down. 2 seconds. 1. A fist of pure rage lunged for Mon's face. Mana surged. Awakening complete. Mon vanished before the strike could even land. Confusion filled the air. Suddenly, Mon reappeared right behind his stunned foe. A devastating counterblow. Mon's fist connected with satisfying, bone-crushing force. But victory was short-lived. The magic-infused strike didn't leave a single scratch. How pathetic, he sneered. Did you think that toy tap could kill me? Behold, real power. He gripped Mon's throat with overwhelming, crushing strength. Final energy gathered for the kill. Mon closed his eyes, accepting the end. Stop this madness, the elder's voice thundered, halting the execution instantly. The old god intervened. He cast Mon aside to face his younger self. What are you doing? Our duty is to guide, not to slaughter our heir. The training is officially over. Yet the young god's blood still boiled hot, stubborn and full of pride. He refused to lower his blood-stained fists. A single, divine glare. The elder's aura crushed the rebellion in an instant. The monster finally submitted. The old man patted his head, smiling warmly. Mon stood up, fully restored. His eyes blazed with a new, legendary light. The dream ends here, he said. Take your reward, heir of the Vnaz. A unique bloodline has awakened. A power that defies even my own legacy. The blood of Arita. The sky god's essence now flows within your veins. A divine fragment survived, hidden within the Vnas lineage for 10,000 years. A hybrid of god and man. A fusion of two legendary, ancient souls. What destiny awaits? With this forbidden combination of god-tier power, I grant you the blessing of a god-slayer's physique, the elder declared, channeling divine essence into Monday. Infinite power surged through his veins. The former weakling felt his blood ignite with newfound SSS-Rank strength. This was no ordinary buff. He now possessed a war god's body. The elder vanished with a grin. We shall meet again. Mon offered words of encouragement, sensing the massive change within his soul. The others were weak, but you are different. No one in this generation could ever defeat you. Even together, we'd stand no chance. Thank you for the lessons, Master. Until our fated reunion. Flattered, the entity revealed hidden locations where he had left other legendary Godslayer treasures behind. The tomb is just the start. Go find them. Mon smirked. More epic loot was waiting to be devoured. Opening his eyes, the world shifted. Mon wondered if that legendary encounter was all just a dream. Suddenly, a world fragment appeared, a divine tool used by ancient gods to forge the very universe. This was a literal shard of a perfect world, containing the raw power of absolute creation. In the original novel, Aiden used these fragments to obtain power enough to end the world. But I've snatched the prize first. Aiden's path to godhood has been officially derailed by my hands. I know readers might be angry seeing a side character steal the protagonist's power, but listen closely. This is for a true happy ending. Meanwhile, the Vnas family succession war is finally heating up. The Vnas throne isn't just for the Duke's children. It is a ruthless competition for all descendants. Every bloodline member can compete, provided they can build a powerful enough private army to win. Candidates are currently scrambling to recruit elite Vnas warriors to secure their claim to the throne. 5 main rivals remain: Ina, Vien, Huran, Dren, and the powerful eldest brother, Aren. News of Mon conquering the Godslayer tomb sent immediate shockwaves through the entire Vnas hierarchy. Inside the Vnas fortress's first sector, the atmosphere shifted as Mon's legend began to grow rapidly. The Duke rewarded Mon's feat with a grand mansion and a small army of loyal personal servants. This elite sector is reserved for the wealthy, while common warriors dwell in the outer districts. They're treating me like royalty because of my Vnas blood and this SSS-Rank Holy Blood Awakening. They even provided a private training hall. Finally, I can live the luxury life of a true noble. I was ready to enjoy the perks when a sudden, loud commotion erupted at my front door. Jano opened it to find 2 arrogant warriors. They had come to deliver a message from Dren. Without asking permission, they began barking orders and reading their master's decree aloud to me. Mon, your deeds are impressive. Your talent will serve as a great tool for my master's cause. Serve him faithfully as his warrior, and you shall receive rewards beyond your wildest imagination. The messenger smirked. Be grateful. It's an honor to be chosen as the young master's sword. This novel has too many extras. Who the hell is Dren? Mon didn't recognize the name. When Mon asked, who is he? The messengers turned purple with rage at his perceived disrespect. You ignorant fool. Are you trying to pick a fight with the great house of Dren? Suddenly, a polite voice intervened from the doorway. Do you happen to know of Master Vien? It was Gon, a loyal subordinate. Mon watched the tension rise between the rival Vnas factions. This guy is a mid-level warrior. I can sense a strange power hidden beneath his bloodline. The 3 idiots started bickering immediately, completely ignoring the legendary main character standing before them. Warriors are divided into 4 ranks: common, mid, advanced, and high. Strength is the only law. Since Dren's men were lower ranked, they could only bark. A physical clash meant certain death. Realizing they were outmatched by Gon, the 2 messengers retreated in a fit of powerless rage. Finally, the trash was cleared out. Only Mon and Gon remained in the now quiet hall. Gon was exceptionally respectful, which Mon appreciated. It was time for a real, high-level conversation. Just call me Gon, he said warmly. Those fools earlier may be seniors, but they're nothing. In the world of warriors, age is irrelevant. Only your rank and your blade truly matter. Respect earned solely by age is a joke. Mon saw right through the old man's facade. State your true purpose or vanish. Gon offered a deceptive deal from his master. What is the price of my loyalty? Gon listed rewards fit for a rising star. But the air turned cold as Gon leaned in. Those rewards meant nothing now. He would drag Mon back by force, even if he had to break every bone. Defeating a weak instructor didn't make him a god. He needed a reality check. The killing intent was clear. Mon realized this was an ultimatum for war. A perfect test subject arrived. Mon needed to unleash his newly awakened SSS-Rank tomb powers. Under the blistering sun, two monsters prepared for a brutal, high-stakes melee clash. No weapons needed, only raw power. Gon mocked Mon's previous victory as mere luck. You won by sheer chance. The iron impact technique is far beyond your reach. Without your special bloodline, your chance of survival is exactly 0, Gon sneered. Enough talk. Mon surged his mana, instantly activating the legendary Iron Impact Fist. Gon's heart stopped. The very skill he mocked was now vibrating in Mon's hand. Like a lightning strike, Mon vanished, delivering a devastating blow to Gon's arrogant face. The impact sent him flying like a ragdoll. He couldn't fathom this monstrous strength. In a heartbeat, Mon reappeared. One single punch shattered the earth into a crater. Gon finally realized his fatal mistake. He begged to end the duel immediately. The warm-up is just beginning, Mon whispered. Prepare for the true nightmare to start. Gon struggled to breathe. No ordinary descendant should possess such a massive mana pool. This level of explosive growth was impossible. It defied every known law of magic. Why did you hide this power before? Gon gasped. His pride completely turned to dust. Mon offered no explanation. His god-slaying body was a divine blessing beyond mortal logic. It granted more than power. It awakened a legendary talent for total battlefield domination. His second secret was the World Fragment, an infinite source of ancient, primordial mana. He visualized the energy perfectly. Watching Gon's terrified expression was almost too satisfying. Silent treatment? Gon growled in frustration. Fine. Witness my true, hidden beastly form. I underestimated you, but now I'll show you my peak strength. Behold my transformation. Gon's body twisted and grew. He shifted into a savage werewolf before Mon's eyes. These cursed creatures usually lose their minds, becoming bloodthirsty beasts of pure chaos. But a rare few conquer the curse, becoming ultimate apex predators at their command. The lycanthrope let out a bone-chilling roar. Man and beast prepared for a collision. In his wolf form, Gon's confidence soared. His physical stats had reached S-tier levels. He lunged with primal ferocity. Even Mon's eyes struggled to track his blinding speed. Claws rained down like steel. Mon was sent hurtling back through a cloud of debris. Blood dripped from Mon's chin. The werewolf's power was a force of pure destruction. He's stronger than anticipated. My mana is superior, but his beastly physique is overwhelming. They were at a deadlock. Strength and mana clashed in a perfect, deadly stalemate. Let's end this over drinks, Mon suggested. But Gon's pride refused to back down. Are you begging for mercy? Gon taunted. Use your trump card or die here. If I use it, you won't survive, Mon warned. His voice turned cold as death. He pulled out his secret weapon. The legendary World Fragment began to glow ominously. By channeling his mana, Mon tapped into a power capable of altering reality itself. Using forbidden knowledge from the novel, he unleashed the fragment's true, terrifying essence. 20 seconds of god-slaying power. That is all I need to erase your existence. Fueled by an explosive surge of power, Gon lunges forward. His razor-sharp claws gleam as he initiates a beastly assault. Confronted by that wild animal, our main character stands motionless. He doesn't even bother to dodge such sluggish strikes. Moving like a ghost, Mon uses Phantom Step. He closes the gap instantly, proving his speed is on another level. Gon feels a sudden chill. Despite his prideful beast form, his confidence begins to crumble against Mon's overwhelming aura. Thinking you can win and actually winning are two different things. Mon channels a devastating surge of lightning energy. With one thunderous strike, the Wolfman is crushed. Gon is sent flying, crashing straight through the Duke's massive mansion. The building collapses into total rubble. While subordinates panic, Mon only wonders where he will sleep tonight. Truly tragic. Before he can find a place to rest, Gon emerges glowing red. He roars, desperately trying to intimidate the main character. Seeing this new form, Mon hesitates. Not out of fear, but because his gift of a castle is being wrecked. There is no other choice. Mon must release his hidden potential to end this quickly. Both warriors prepare to clash. Suddenly, a woman's voice echoes through the battlefield. A single kick sends Gon flying, forcing him back into human form. As the dust settles, a legendary beauty appears. This mysterious woman just completely overpowered the rampaging beast with ease. She is stunning, yet her muscles are incredibly toned. Any man would be terrified to marry such a powerful warrior. Gon's lackeys cry for justice, but the lady stays calm. She explains the cold truth to these mindless fools. If they continued, someone would have died. Most likely Gon, as he had completely lost his sanity to madness. Gon clearly hasn't mastered his transformation yet. Realizing she is right, the subordinates quickly retreat to treat his wounds. With the trash cleared, the lady approaches Monday. She reveals her identity as Anas, his long-lost sister. She looks absolutely gorgeous, and Mon realizes she is quite a catch. Sadly, his heart remains cold as ice. Anas cheerfully grants him the special right to call her sister. But our main character isn't looking for family. Knowing they are related means he can't make a move anyway. Mon coldly rejects her, leaving her utterly speechless. Anas runs away in embarrassment. The butler sighs, reminding her that Mon's past as an outcast makes him distant. He lived a life of poverty as an illegitimate child. He won't trust the rightful heirs of the Vnas family. It makes sense why he avoids her. But Anas is shocked he defeated Gon without even using his bloodline. That is exactly why she wants him on her side. Meanwhile, news of Mon's victory spreads like wildfire everywhere. From the public baths to the grand dining halls, everyone is talking. The rookie who crushed a high-ranking warrior. While everyone gossips, an urgent report arrives. Mon and Duke Winston are assigned a mission to stop a mage. Anas can't believe her ears. A few days later, Mon's luxury home is finally repaired and looking brand new. Mon reflects on Gon's character. Instead of seeking revenge, Gon admitted defeat and even paid for all the damages. Such a respectable loser. While admiring his home, Kesner arrives to discuss a serious matter in private. He explains that peace has vanished since Mon arrived. In 10 days, a high-stakes mission will finally begin. This mission involves preventing demonization. Unlike normal dungeons, these are intentional invasions by the demon realm. In these cursed zones, powerful demons lead the assault. Demonization occurs in 3 distinct and terrifying stages. Stage 1 begins with a vortex. Stage 2 allows humans to enter as the portal stabilizes and grows stronger. By Stage 3, the land is corrupted. The demon realm expands, and countless monsters begin to pour into reality. If not stopped, a dungeon break occurs. The 2 worlds will merge, leading to the total extinction of humanity. Our world suffers most during Stage 3. Therefore, they must destroy the core during the 2nd stage, immediately. However, only those who have awakened their true blood can reach the center. Only they can destroy the core. This is why the Vnas clan, carrying the blood of ancient gods, is considered the world's most precious lineage. Stage 1 is the forming whirlwind. Stage 2 is when the gate finally solidifies. The demonic realm expands in Stage 3. The surrounding land begins to rot and decay. Hordes of demons flood the world. If not stopped, a catastrophic dungeon breach occurs. The 2 worlds merge into one nightmare. Demons begin their total invasion of humanity. Stage 3 is the point of no return. We must crush the core at Stage 2. Only those with awakened god blood can reach the center and shatter the dungeon heart. This is why the Vnas bloodline, the legendary godslayers, are worshipped as saviors. This path is paved with corpses, a gamble of life and death. The choice is yours. But for our former weakling, this was a golden ticket. Mon's eyes flickered with resolve. To escape the shadow of insignificance, he had to embrace the fire. The risk was legendary. No more small fries or meaningless brawls. He accepted the offer, stepping toward his true destiny, a chance to rewrite his fate. Training would begin with the rising sun tomorrow morning. Before the elite guard, Kesner announced the newcomer. The boy who shattered the instructor's pride, the genius who toppled the mid-rank warrior Gon stood before them. Whispers of disbelief filled the air. Jaws dropped as the legend became flesh. The soldiers stared at the miraculous rising star. Their aura was immense, every one a seasoned veteran. Could a rookie truly stand among these titans? He knew their silent questions. Why was a novice main character assigned to this special mission? Words were useless now. Only his strength would earn their respect in this chaotic world. Suddenly, a giant loomed over him. Was this a challenge? No, it was pure, unfiltered adoration. The warrior gripped Mon's hand, eyes shining like a fanatic meeting his ultimate idol. He examined Mon like a rare treasure, making the atmosphere both bizarre and welcoming. Time was a luxury. They had 10 days to forge a bond stronger than tempered steel. 𝐻�0 would descend alone into the god's tomb, leaving them to sharpen their fangs together. The commander vanished. Left alone, the main character's journey into the elite world truly began. Enter 𝐸𝐸 and 𝐸𝐸, two mid-rank warriors with bloodlines of pure, ancient power. Descendants of the Venus line, Mon was paired with 𝐸𝐸, the stoic heart of the formation. Their synergy would be the linchpin of the battle. Life and death depended on their synchronization, but 𝐸𝐸 was a wall of ice. Could they truly combine their strength before the storm? 10 days vanished. Winston emerged from the abyss of the tomb, victorious and battle-worn. Cheers erupted for their lord, but his mind was elsewhere. He headed straight for the grounds. There he found Monday. The air hummed with a terrifying and overwhelming newfound pressure. Winston froze in shock. This wasn't the boy from the god's tomb anymore. His growth was unnatural. He was a different beast altogether, stronger, faster, and much deadlier. 𝐸𝐸 rushed over with news. The training report for the boy was nothing short of miraculous. Without a drop of magic, they focused on raw instinct and the fundamentals of war. They honed his physical limits, teaching him to purge lethal poison with sheer, awakened willpower. A genius among geniuses. But the true shock was the duration of his SSS-Rank awakening. A rookie maintaining his form as long as a 12-year veteran? It was physically impossible. To match 𝐸𝐸's legacy in just a few days, Mon was a true, divine monster. Inside the storm of training, Mon felt a surge of joy. The bedridden weakling was gone. From a paralyzed shell to a warrior of legends, his new strength felt absolutely infinite. If this was a dream, he prayed to never wake. This power was his reality now. Short training ended. Clad in enchanted armor, the squad stood ready for the coming war. Winston watched them, pride warring with anxiety. Could this new team hold under pressure? He looked at the main character. The boy's eyes held the depth of a seasoned general. The main character's answer was short and sharp. He was ready to hunt his enemies. With morale reaching the heavens, the march toward the abyss commenced with unstoppable momentum. Days passed in a blur of travel. Finally, the cursed battlefield loomed on the horizon. Disaster had struck early. The demonic corruption had already reached its second, lethal phase. The timing was a nightmare. If the corruption sites merged, the world would face total annihilation. A fusion would accelerate the rot, birthing an unstoppable evil beyond any mortal comprehension. The erosion accelerates as they fuse. The density of demonic power becomes absolutely lethal. Danger peaked as demonic corruption accelerated. Despite their exhaustion, the land was warping faster than they could have ever predicted. Winston charged as they plummeted into the abyss. Beneath the crimson sky, a towering, ominous spire loomed from the darkness. Lightning tore through the heavens as a tide of nightmares surged forth. Hungry for the blood of the living expedition, thousands of hellhounds and savage orcs formed a flood of death, threatening to swallow every single warrior in their path. Winston knew there was no room for cowards. He commanded his soldiers to ignite their holy blood for the final clash. Every warrior struck with unbridled fury, carving a bloody path through the hideous monsters that dared to block their way. Swords clashed and blades sang. Each fighter unleashed their ultimate skills, turning the battlefield into a symphony of absolute destruction. A beautiful female warrior fought with legendary ferocity, diving headfirst into the densest monster hordes to prove her divine strength. 𝐸𝐸 finally let loose. His piercing spear technique obliterated thousands of enemies in one single, earth-shattering moment of raw power. But the tide was endless. Orcs and wolves surged wave after wave, as the world itself seemed to bleed pure darkness. The demonic fusion was accelerating rapidly. With reinforcements far away, their only choice was to fight or die in hell. 𝐻�0 ordered a desperate charge. They had to cut a path to the core before the dungeon consumed their very souls. Faced with giant Cyclops monstrosities, Mon didn't flinch. A terrifying SSS-Rank energy began to gather within his small, determined frame. He channeled immense power into his right fist and leaped, delivering a strike that sent shockwaves rippling through the earth. The massive giants crumbled like paper under his overwhelming pressure. 𝐸𝐸 watched, his eyes wide with utter disbelief. Even in his first battle, Mon showed zero fear. His growth was unnatural, surpassing everything seen during his previous training. He had become a monster in human skin. Suddenly, a wolfman assassin crept through the shadows, targeting the distracted Day. Instead of a physical strike, the beast began condensing a massive orb of dark energy within its gaping, hungry maw. Decay was a second away from death. Just as the energy peaked, Mon intercepted with speed faster than lightning. With one brutal punch, Mon shattered the creature's skull, ending the threat before the energy blast could be unleashed. This was a magically buffed monster, yet Mon handled it easily. He called out for Decay to assist him. Like two sides of a lethal coin, they struck together. Their coordinated assault overwhelmed the beast's legendary, reinforced defenses. The monster fell to its knees in agony. Seizing the opening, Mon gathered every ounce of energy for one final blow. He aimed straight for the head. The impact was so violent, the creature's body was literally pulverized into a bloody mist. Decay stood stunned. Mon was a true monster. To protect his comrade, Decay cast a shield against gore. Time was running out. After clearing the area, Mon sprinted toward his brother who was locked in a lethal struggle. The Earl was barely holding his own against two nightmare bats. Demonic fusion had empowered these beasts beyond all recognition. Suddenly, as Mon crossed the battlefield, he stepped on a hidden trap. The ground itself seemed to open beneath him. He was dragged into the dark earth. Decay's desperate cries echoed, but Mon had already vanished into the depths. Decay stood in horror as the ground sealed. Seconds later, Mon hit the floor of a vast underground cathedral. Despite the lethal fall, Mon stood up without a scratch. Before him sat a demonic entity upon a bone throne. The demon praised Mon's resilience. Thanks to his knowledge of the novel, Mon realized he faced the dungeon core itself. The entity smiled cruelly, declaring that today would be the final day for the pathetic race known as humanity. On the surface, Decay frantically informed the commander that Mon had been swallowed by the depths of the earth. Fearing for his brother's life, Winston immediately ordered a rescue mission, demanding to be led to the fall site. Below, Mon stood his ground. Antas the demon explained that a clash between two lords forced this unexpected dungeon merger. It was a gamble of power. The loser was bound here to guard the core, while the winner claimed everything. As it turns out, Antas sneered. I, Baron Antas, was the one forced to remain in this dark, silent prison. But I see 3 carriers of holy blood. My master won't mind if I snack on the youngest one first. Antas preferred the tender meat of the young. Mon felt a chill as he realized the true scale of danger. The stronger the core, the more high-ranking demons manifest. The hierarchy was clear. Baron, Viscount, Earl, then the Marquis. Above them sat the demon kings. Even a baron was a legendary threat, capable of slaughtering entire armies of men alone. High-tier demons begin to crawl out. Low and mid-ranks are nothing but mere fodder. Then come the overlords, barons, viscounts, and counts. Above them sit the terrifying demon dukes. Even a single baron is a walking calamity. They can slaughter entire armies with ease. One-hit warrior Winston rushes to save his subordinate, but a sudden obstacle halts his path. A green beast blocks him. Furious that they captured Mon, the squad's youngest, he vows revenge. He swears they'll pay. Facing the fierce Viscount, the demon sneers without a hint of fear. Kill me? Try it, kid. Mocked and enraged, Kesner ignites his core, pushing his limits. White hair blazes as lightning coils around him. He readies to slay the hideous demon. Underground, Mon senses the danger. He activates sacred blood, preparing to clash with the sinister Antas. Antas finds Mon's power amusing. He thought one blow would suffice, but the game has changed. A warm-up before dinner then. Antas leaps, unleashing the soulfire dance upon the young warrior. Facing the terrifying blast, Mon remains calm, countering with blood shadow break to nullify the strike. Shocked by the easy parry, Antas realizes this meal might actually have some sharp bones. Annoyed, Mon blitzes forward, landing a devastating punch. The Baron recoils in agony and utter confusion. How is a kid this monstrous? Before the beast recovers, Mon channels mana for a decisive strike. Hell's Gate swings wide. Reeling from the pain, Antas snaps, transforming into his true, primal form. The demon surges with power. Realizing it's kill or be eaten, Mon ignites his internal energy. Their colliding powers shatter the surrounding space. Seeing the struggle, the demon senses a lethal threat. From the void, He pulls a massive blade, swinging relentlessly at Mon's head with murderous intent. Despite the lethal strikes, Mon's relentless training pays off as he effortlessly parries every single blow. Then, with one heart-piercing strike, he shatters the demon's body into dust. As Antus vanishes, a mysterious core appears, shocking Monday. Above ground, Winston has already decapitated the blue demon. Winston orders a cleanup and rushes off to personally rescue his beloved little brother, Monday. Kesner arrives at high speed, but his jaw drops in disbelief at the carnage he finds. I was worried sick. Mon just casually holds Antus's sword. Only one demon tried me, brother. Mon admits luck played a part. Had the demon fought seriously from the start, things might have differed. He won because the enemy underestimated him. Seeing his brother's overwhelming growth, the Viscount feels stunned. He's genuinely intimidated. A rookie who just awakened sacred blood defeating a high-ranking demon is legendary. It's absolutely insane. Kesner chose Mon for this mission specifically to shield the young genius's future. He didn't want such a bright star dragged into the toxic power struggles of the throne. He vowed to be Mon's shield until the boy gained enough experience to choose his own path. Once the mission concludes, the duo finally regroups with their comrades after their first demonic subjugation. Many missions followed. It took a month and a half of constant grinding to return home. We finally reached the Grand Duchy on a late afternoon, exhausted but stronger than ever before. After training, Winston asks Mon about the upcoming gala. Is your stomach ready for the feast? This grand event honors warriors every 2 months. Only the elite are invited to attend. The Grand Duke himself presents the awards. Winston reminds Mon not to be late for this. As Winston leaves, Mon realizes this gala will be crawling with powerful and dangerous political players. High officials and those targeting the Grand Duke's seat will all be in one place tonight. Aiden continues his clash with Grand Duke Varnus. Amidst the danger, Mon plots a bold countermove. Aiden's scheme could shift the war. He abandoned his family to court the Varnus faction's power. Now, the succession war centers on Leon Varnus. Once he ascends, Mon gains a massive backing. To survive Aiden and his foes, Mon needs an ally. There's no power greater than the duchy. He must win over the Grand Duchy before Aiden does. The day of the party finally arrives. Dressed in noble attire, Mon looks the part. But while everyone else dances in pairs, the young warrior stands awkwardly alone in a corner. This is actually quite boring, he sighs. Noticing his isolation, Erickson rushes over to cheer him up. The real party starts after this. Reward in hand, the drinks will flow soon. Stay tuned for the ultimate power shift. Look at those beauties. Be bold or you will stay single forever, kid. They entered the hall where Duke Gren waited, plotting to scout our hero. As Gren prepared his pitch, Biden, the 6th young master, crashed the party. He mocked his brother's obvious greed while Gren feigned a polite apology. Gren shifted focus, inviting Mon for drinks after the ceremony finally concluded. Mon remained stoic, forcing Gren to reveal a glittering golden treasure box. It was a blatant bribe, but Mon decided to play along anyway. He accepted the gift. Seeing them friendly, Biden's blood began to boil. Biden clenched his fists, teeth grinding in pure, unadulterated envy and rage. He stepped forward, declaring himself Biden, the owner of the fallen gun. He praised Mon's strength before being interrupted by the beautiful Lady Enna. Enna smiled warmly at Mon, though the family air remained thick with tension. In this house, siblings are enemies, all hungry for the Duke's throne. Enna glared at Biden, remembering how he once ruthlessly broke her arm. A family of snakes. Mon watched the chaos unfold with quiet amusement. The novel never mentioned the Vnas family being this fractured and messy. Gren has vision but lacks loyalty. Biden is just a hot-headed fool. Enna is a complete mystery whose true power remains hidden for now. Suddenly, the legendary Huron arrived, shocking everyone with his unexpected presence. A man of war, Huron rarely bothered with such trivial, flashy parties. He approached Mon warmly, introducing himself as a high-ranking warrior of renown. Mon realized Huron was a legendary survivor from the original story's end. He was a melancholic genius. Having him as an ally would be massive. The room fell silent as a grand announcement echoed through the hall. The awards ceremony was beginning, and the Grand Duke took the stage. He praised their efforts over the last 2 months with regal pride. The rewards were brought out, including a magnificent, legendary Dragon Slayer statue. The craftsmanship was divine. One by one, the heroes claimed their prizes. For slaying the Demon Baron at 15, Mon was promoted to intermediate. The crowd gasped. Such a rapid rise was unheard of in history. Suspicions of favoritism whispered through the crowd like a growing storm. The Grand Duke even challenged Mon to a future duel of strength. During the feast, Winston pulled Mon aside for a private, serious talk. He warned Mon to stay sober for a meeting with his master. The next day, Mon entered a cold, desolate place, devoid of life. A massive gate stood before him, opening slowly by an unseen force. A voice echoed. The old man was using telekinesis to welcome him. Inside sat Eldon Vnas, a blind elder with hair white as snow, the former leader of the elite corps and the current duke's brother, a fallen legend who lost everything to his younger brother years ago. Once a brilliant young leader, now he was a forgotten, broken shadow. Why would such a man want to meet Mon? The mystery deepened. They exchanged greetings, the air heavy with the weight of ancient power. The blind elder apologized for the rush, his senses sharper than sight. Eldon reached out, touching Mon's face to read his very soul. He knew why he was summoned. But first, the old man had a deadly trial prepared. In a world ruled by mages, a secret ally was needed to finally topple Leon. With the backing of the giants, the main character's potential was staggering. He had to prove it. Mon unleashed his fresh blood awakening. He accepted the challenge with a fierce, determined gaze. The main character lunged forward like a lightning bolt, relying on his youthful and explosive power. But this old man was a former rival to the Grand Duke. A fireball stopped Monday. The impact sent Mon flying. He crashed down, gasping as the unexpected power hit him hard. How could a tiny manosphere be so heavy? This old man was truly a monster. He was coating spheres in pure aura, a feat impossible for even master-level mana knights. Yet he controlled dozens effortlessly. Sweat poured down the main character's face from the pressure. This aura control was beyond human. It was a realm reached only by divine mana senses. I will use the god body to resist. Pure strength will be my only path forward. He dove into close quarters again. Yen watched with a smirk, impressed by the boy's speed. Just a few more spheres and I can restrain you easily, Yen warned with chilling calm. Realizing physical contact was blocked by magic, Mon halted. He focused mana into his glowing palms. Using the massive internal energy from Vnas, Mon manifested his own legion of deadly mana spheres. The entire arena was swallowed by Mon's overwhelming energy. Mana surged like a rising tide. Yen stood frozen. How could a 15-year-old boy possess such god-like destructive power? He neutralized my attack and merged the spheres? This technique is supposedly lost to time. Where did this kid learn such a divine skill? Mon vanished, appearing behind the old man. An invisible armor blocked the strike. Despite his strength, Mon could not touch the old man. The barrier was absolute. Mon retreated, his mind racing for a way to shatter that defense. He pulled out the world-breaking shard. To earn Yen's trust, he had to go all out. Mana erupted like a volcano. Mon struck, sending the old man crashing through the fortress walls. Dust and debris filled the air. But the celebration was cut short by a terrifying presence. From the rubble, Yen emerged laughing. His hair shifted to a brilliant, glowing platinum white. Lightning crackled as the second stage of fresh blood awakened. Mon felt a primal fear. In a blink, the old man was behind him. He paused, then unleashed a world-shaking punch. The gap between stage 1 and 2 was a bottomless abyss. Mon braced for the impact. He used every ounce of power to defend. But the second stage was simply too overwhelming. Mon was sent tumbling back like a broken doll. Even Yen's hand trembled from the force. A true descendant of the Vnas bloodline, Yen whispered, acknowledging the boy's incredible grit. Thanks to his awakening, Mon's wounds healed instantly. He stood up, ready for round 2. Enough, Yen signaled. The duel was over. Mon deactivated his power, returning to normal. Recognizing the boy's legendary potential, Yen offered him a place in his elite army, the Guardian Corps, the most feared and elite division within the entire Vnas hierarchy. While others trained in safety, these warriors refined their killing arts on the front lines. To the south lies the Demon Realm. To the north, the legendary White Magic Barrier. The south had already fallen to darkness, serving as the headquarters for the Demon Lords. The elite White Guards stand watch, but the darkness is spreading into the gray zone. This neutral territory is slowly being corrupted. It is the base for the Guardian Corps. a never-ending battlefield where the fate of the continent is decided every single day. They are the only ones who can rival the great Vanaas family in military might. Two mountains of power exist. The holy bloodline of the Otis clan stands among them. The Guardian Corps is a place of death. Very few survive their first year of service. The vultures are circling. Every faction is now desperate to claim our hero for their own. They crave his power to tip the scales of the throne war. Duke 𝐬𝐽𝐫 is his shield. But for how long? The White Law Barrier remains a sanctuary, a neutral zone where the royal bloodhounds cannot reach. In this den of vipers, he can only rely on one thing: his own blade and his own evolution. Our protagonist agrees to the alliance, but with a twist. He demands two conditions that catch them off guard. First, a high-stakes duel to sharpen his killing intent. The guildmaster, sensing his potential, agrees instantly. Second, he demands a year of freedom to roam the world. He needs to hunt for legendary artifacts, not just adventure. A whole year? The old man nearly chokes. He wonders if he'll even be alive to see the boy return. But time is a luxury they don't have. 𝐸𝐴DN is growing stronger, hunting the world fragments in the shadows. After a tense silence, the old master relents. He realizes this young dragon cannot be caged. They strike a deal. 8 months of freedom. 8 months to prepare for the storm ahead. 𝐸𝐴DN seizes the chance. A legendary opportunity has finally fallen into his hands. Back at the estate, a mysterious presence awaits. Elite guards are stationed everywhere. Something is different. It's Lady Enna's personal retinue. What business does his sister have with him now? She presents him with a massive gift box. It's even bigger than Ren's. The anticipation is electric. Inside lies a relic of myths, a legendary elixir capable of shattering a warrior's limits. This is the ultimate gamble for any magic swordsman. A single drop could grant godlike power or instant death. God's tears. In the original story, this very potion turned Leon into a monster. Enna warns him, "I received this at age 10. It is a treasure beyond price, but a curse for the weak. To the unworthy, this is the most lethal poison in existence. Only drink it when your soul is ready." She smiles, trusting his monstrous potential. "I know you won't die, but caution is written in blood." 𝐸𝐴DN is stunned. This item is one of the 3 ultimate treasures in the entire game world. To receive such a gift is to inherit destiny itself, an invaluable weapon for the war to come. With the gift delivered, Enna departs gracefully. 𝐸𝐴DN watches her leave, his heart filled with silent gratitude. 20 days later, the fledgling is ready to fly. Under the shroud of midnight, he prepares to leave the nest. His mission: stop 𝐸𝐴DN before the world burns. But a shadow is waiting for him in the courtyard. It's Duke 𝐬𝐽𝐫. He knew the boy wouldn't stay. Even with SSS-Rank potential, he's still just 15. The North is a frozen hell, the Duke warns. He stares at the boy, wondering what madness drives him. 𝐸𝐴DN bows in respect. This man stood against the entire empire just to protect him. The Duke endured immense political pressure without a single word. He was a true guardian in a world of traitors. He never shackled the boy or demanded anything in return. He truly cared for 𝐸𝐴DN's future above all else. No jealousy, no exploitation, just the heart of a true mentor. A rarity in this cruel world of nobles. 𝐸𝐴DN flashes a confident grin. "Don't worry, Duke. I'll bring back the rarest treasures just for you." Realizing he cannot stop a destiny this great, the Duke finally steps aside, wishing his protégé safe passage. The two part ways as 𝐸𝐴DN vanishes into the darkness. But wait, a hidden presence is lurking in the trees. An assassin? 𝐸𝐴DN senses a disturbance. But the stalker vanishes instantly using high-tier stealth magic. The path to power is divided into 5 brutal stages. Stage 1. Mastering the flow of internal energy. Stage 2. Condensing the pulse into a physical armor. Transforming energy into a steel, like gauntlet. Stage 3. Weapon infusion. Flowing your very soul into the edge of your blade. Stage 4. Explosive compression. Releasing internal energy with the force of 1,000 suns. Then comes Stage 5, the realm of the transcendent. A peak that 99% of warriors never even see. Those who master this stage are crowned as sword masters. Living gods on the battlefield who command the atmosphere. 𝐸𝐴DN has spent 20 days in hellish training with 𝐸𝐴DN. They didn't just spar, they waged a miniature war. Every lesson was a baptism of fire. His growth was miraculous, surpassing all logic and limits. He's standing at the threshold of the aura stage, and he still has the god's tears waiting to be unleashed. The SSS-Rank strengthening elixir 𝐸𝐚𝐫𝐫 gifted him was working wonders. After a sleepless night of cultivation, Mon had already traveled leagues into the wild, yet the Grand Duke's shadows were already closing in. Suddenly, a lethal spear whistled through the forest air, but Mon's awakened reflexes were truly godly. He dodged effortlessly. Seeing the hidden assassins, his eyes burned with a terrifying killing intent. "You want to fight? I'll give you a massacre." The commander barked for a volley of arrows. Not wanting to waste a single second, Mon unleashed his true blood mana to form a void barrier. Hundreds of arrows shattered against his aura. The archers stood frozen, faces pale with absolute terror. Realizing physical attacks were useless, the mages conjured a hellish inferno to incinerate him. Facing the roaring wall of flames, Mon didn't even flinch. He stood like an immovable mountain. He activated his sphere shield, as the forest turned into a charcoal graveyard within seconds. The weaklings were instantly vaporized. Only the commander remained, trembling in the ashes of his army. He never imagined this weakling possessed such monstrous power. Mon locked eyes with his prey. Still breathing, Mon lunged forward like a streak of golden lightning. The commander desperately raised his ultimate defense, a shield forged from reinforced mana and sheer desperation. But after 20 days of hellish training with 𝐸𝐚𝐫𝐫, Mon's fist shattered the barrier like thin glass. "The destruction fist," the man gasped. How could a 15-year-old master such a divine technique? With his defense shattered, the commander was sent flying. Mon didn't give him a moment to pray. A relentless barrage of strikes rained down until the assassin collapsed, dropping his sword in total defeat. Mon loomed over him with cold, predatory eyes. "Don't bother hiding. I know exactly who you are." Varen's heart nearly stopped. How did this boy know his identity? "I've seen you before," Mon whispered. "Once at the training grounds, and once at the banquet, hiding like a rat among the elite guards." Mon had investigated every shadow around the Grand Duke. Everyone spoke of the legendary 𝐵𝐵, the high-tier warrior and master mage. A wolf in sheep's clothing, despite your diminutive stature. A cunning, rotten puppet serving a monster. That's all you are, the Grand Duke's loyal dog. In the original novel, Duke Vnas was a legend of strength, but he was also an unforgivable demon. He committed the ultimate sin, cannibalizing his own children to feast upon their growing life force. Varen's jaw dropped. This was a secret buried in blood. How could Mon possibly know this forbidden truth? The Duke's depravity knew no bounds. Since his youth, he was a genius who feared only one thing: the inevitable decay of his own flesh. As age withered his power, desperation took root. That's when the Silver Blood cult whispered in his ear, promising the nectar of eternal youth. The price? Total submission to their dark agenda. And the ritual was beyond horrific. To regain youth, he had to consume his own kin. The Black Forest was nourished by a dark god's blood, waiting to be fed with the lineage of Vnas. Only then would the fruit of immortality bloom. But its power would peak only when combined with the holy blood of an awakened warrior like Monday. Thus, the Duke had been breeding and sacrificing his children like livestock for his own selfish ascension. "I knew you were tailing me the moment I left," Mon sneered. "You were never a threat, just an annoyance." Varen's soul shook with primal fear. It was obvious the Duke would send a cleanup crew. For an abandoned child of Vnas, there are only two fates: be a tool for his ambition, or be his dinner. The missing illegitimate children over the years, it all led back to this silver blood conspiracy. Since Mon couldn't be controlled, the Duke decided to erase him before he became a true threat. "That rotten old man is pathetic," Mon spat. Varen snarled, his loyalty blinding his common sense. Mon grabbed him by the throat, his grip tightening like iron. "Shut your mouth. You're the one facing judgment now. You die here, Varen. But first, I'll show you the ruin you won't live to see. Vnas will fall. He will die in disgrace, and I will be the one to tear his legacy apart." Even at death's door, Varen croaked out his devotion. "The Duke is a god. His talent is beyond your reach. Do you really think a brat like you can touch a god like him?" Varen sneered. Seizing a momentary distraction, Varen lunged with a space-rending strike, his blade flashing with lethal intent. But Mon's SSS-Rank instincts kicked in, weaving through the blow as his aura erupted in defense. Varen poured every ounce of power into his sword, but Mon just smirked at the desperate display. Armed with Yen's secret techniques, our hero felt completely invincible against this pathetic challenger. They collided like two charging bulls, but Mon had one final lesson for his traitorous foe. Loyalty is admirable, but challenging the main character? That's just a one-way ticket to hell, kid. With a roar, Mon unleashed a devastating flame art, incinerating Varen's arms into mere ash. As Varen writhed in agonizing pain, Mon delivered a single, merciful punch to end his existence. Watching from the darkness, a masked spy trembled. Mon was a true monster in human skin. Realizing he was outmatched, the spy scrambled to warn the elders, but his escape was clumsy. Obey heaven or perish. Mon's fist instantly pierced through the spy's heart like a hot knife. Upon inspection, Mon found the mark of silver blood, a mysterious cult from the original novel. They arrived sooner than expected, but with his current god-tier strength, Mon feared no one. Stop hiding in the shadows, Mon called out, sensing yet another presence lurking nearby. When the silence continued, an annoyed Mon threw a powerful punch into the empty void. Incredibly, the strike connected, forcing a hidden figure to tumble out in total disbelief. A young man emerged, revealing the unmistakable pointed ears of the legendary elven race. These beings live for centuries, their bodies aging far slower than any ordinary human. But noticing the shorter ears, Mon realized this boy was actually a half-elf outcast. The boy introduced himself as Ken, a scout from the elite Shadow Wolf Special Forces. Serving under General Yen, 5,000 soldiers guarded the northern reaches of the Ghost Kingdom. Their sacred mission was to purge the demon plague and protect the Holy Blood descendants. The Black Wolves were Yen's personal assassins, the ultimate blades hidden within the darkness. Their training surpassed regular warriors, specializing in the lethal arts of silent, invisible killing. Ken was humiliated. His master-level stealth had been dismantled by a teenager so effortlessly. Sent to protect Mon, the young scout had failed his primary mission before it even began. Mon demanded proof of his identity, refusing to trust a shadow without a royal token. Ken revealed a jade-encrusted bracelet, a signature item that Mon recognized from his memories. Go home, kid. The battlefield is for warriors, not for children playing at war. Desperate, Ken begged to stay, fearing he'd be expelled from the order if he returned. He promised to serve Mon's every need. Mon paused, recalling the boy's tragic backstory. Abandoned by his father for his mixed blood, Ken was a dying stray saved by Yen. That debt forged an unbreakable loyalty, making him a master of spirit and shadow magic. Despite his youthful face, Ken's skills were sharp enough to change the tide of battle. He was actually older than Mon, a veteran assassin hiding behind a boyish, innocent mask. With silver blood hunting him, having a loyal shadow wouldn't be a bad strategic move. Mon finally accepted him, and Ken's face lit up with pure, unadulterated joy. Fine. Clean up this entire mess, Mon ordered, testing the boy's dedication immediately. It was a massive task, but Ken dove in happily, eager to prove his worth. Meanwhile, at the Archduke's mansion, scouts reported a battlefield scorched clean of all bodies. Fearing a hidden guardian, the Duke decided to let Silverblood handle the dirty work. 5 days later, the duo finally reached their destination, a towering, ancient stone tomb. They needed the cover of night to act. Mon found a nearby tree to rest. Keep guard, Ken. If anyone even breathes near me, wake me up instantly. Mo drifted off while searching for the ancient stone tablet, leaving an exasperated Kien to stand guard. As night fell, Kien brooded by the fire, reflecting on his fallen status as a legendary warrior. He was once an elite of the Black Wolf squad with over 10 years of bloody combat experience. Now, he felt like a mere servant to a bunch of intermediate-ranked brats. It was truly pathetic. He cursed his luck, regretting the day he ever accepted this miserable escort mission for these kids. Suddenly, Mo called out, making Kien jump out of his skin as if his inner thoughts were heard. Sweating bullets, Kien realized Mo hadn't heard him. Instead, he was pointing toward a hidden secret. On top of the weathered headstone, the entrance to a long-forgotten secret dungeon began to shimmer. This hidden realm only appeared when 3 impossible conditions were met. First, a crescent moon must rise. Second, moonlight must strike the stone perfectly. Third, a being with holy blood must be nearby. Mo knew these secrets from the legendary scrolls of the world-ruling mage he had studied. While worthless to others, this dungeon held a prize Mo craved, the boundary-breaking fragment. Mo leaped forward, ordering Kien to stay back and guard the entrance while he entered alone. As Kien sat outside roasting potatoes, The gates of destiny swung open for our awakened hero. Inside the Moon Temple, the shadows of forgotten gods from the ancient era still lingered. The air grew heavy with the presence of dark deities whose names had been erased by time. Suddenly, hundreds of skeletal warriors emerged from the gloom, surrounding Mo with rusted blades. In the mortal realm, these unstoppable spirits were the stuff of nightmares for any ordinary man. But in this supernatural domain, the rules were different, and Mo was the ultimate predator. With overwhelming physical dominance, he pulverized every skeleton that dared to challenge his path. Tired of the warm-up, Mo condensed massive mana into his palms, creating a devastating energy orb. One blast turned the undead to dust. He then approached the colossal statue of the Great Wolf. There, a monstrous guardian boss awaited, rising from its 1,000-year slumber with a terrifying roar. The beast sneered, declaring it would sacrifice Mo to the goddess for disturbing its peaceful rest. Mo smirked, remembering that in the original legend, this beast was an invincible wall for most. Even the legendary Aiden, a master beyond high-tier mages, had nearly died fighting this savage creature. The beast possessed a divine blessing that negated all magic, making it a mage's ultimate nightmare. But that blessing meant nothing to Mo, because he wasn't planning on using magic at all. Confident in its goddess-given strength, the beast prepared to crush the lone intruder like an ant. It ordered its pack to circle them, creating a sacred arena for a warrior's honorable duel. The beast arrogantly proclaimed that a clash of warriors was sacred and must be handled with dignity. Mo accepted the challenge, relieved he only had to focus on one target at a time. Knowing the creature had insane regenerative powers, Mo shifted into a lethal, high-level combat stance. While the Guardian continued to boast, Mo unleashed his SSS-Rank Third Awakening state. With absolute power surging, Mo declared that tonight, the wolf would be the one being hunted. Sensing Mo was no ordinary human, the beast immediately began absorbing its minions' souls for power. It transformed into a mountain of muscle and fur, radiating a suffocating aura of pure bloodlust. Despite the beast's cheating, Mo charged forward with the blinding speed of a lightning strike. He delivered a punch with enough force to shatter a mountain, aiming for the beast's chest. Suddenly, a powerful invisible barrier flickered into existence, absorbing the impact of Mo's devastating blow. Mo was momentarily surprised by such a perfect defense, but his spirit remained cold and focused. He channeled every ounce of mana into his fists, launching a relentless barrage of 1,000 strikes. Under the pressure of Mo's overwhelming strength, the unbreakable divine shield finally shattered like glass. The Guardian was sent flying, crashing through solid stone walls as the entire dungeon trembled. The beast's arrogance instantly vanished, replaced by pure terror as it witnessed Mo's monstrous power. Mon closed the distance, instantly launching a strike meant to shatter the Guardian's pride. The beast desperately evaded the crushing blows, searching for a single opening to counter. It struck Mon's abdomen with lethal force, a hit that would kill any ordinary man. Shattering organs and crushing spines, but Mon was now a transcendent SSS-Rank being. That blow merely refilled Mon's mana reserves as he casually seized the monster's hairy arm. "Nice try, doggy," he whispered coldly before slamming the beast into the dirt like trash. As it tumbled, Mon launched a relentless barrage, a lethal symphony of fists and steel. The Guardian lay broken like a dying pup, eyes vacant, and his spirit completely drained. Yet, knowing he possessed the power of resurrection, the guard wore a twisted, mocking smile. Refusing to wait, Mon delivered a devastating finishing kick, then vaulted back to observe. A massive hole gaped in the beast's chest, marking the silent end of a monster. But that final smile lingered in Mon's mind, as a mysterious voice suddenly echoed. "Thank you for granting my warrior an honorable death," the stranger spoke from the shadows. He explained the warrior's tragic past of betrayal, and his eternity spent as a ghost. "You gave him the peace he craved, a legendary ending for a lost, wandering soul. To repay the debt, a gift was offered, the final treasure of a fallen, ancient age." A mysterious bracelet was tossed toward him, far from some cheap 25K market trinket. Under the moonlight, it protects those you cherish, a divine shield of pure starlight. This was a treasure never found in the original novels. Mon equipped it with pride. One final strike shattered the ancient statue, revealing a hidden, secret map within. Mon secured the prize and exited the dungeon as dawn broke over the horizon. Ken was still waiting faithfully, the perfect loyal subordinate for a future king. No time for celebrations or rest, the journey toward absolute domination continued. They arrived at the bustling city of Relied, a heart of trade and dark secrets. 2 world fragments secured in 1 month, Mon smirked at his terrifying rate of growth. Other dungeons had fallen before his might, yielding legendary fragments and holy relics. His luck was truly divine, a destined path paved with god-tier loot and power. Next stop, the Rel Life Black Market. It was time to purge the underground scum. They checked into a 5-star hotel, seeking a brief moment of luxury after the hunt. While Ken called home, Mon began to meditate, entering the spiritual realm of fragments. These fragments were the building blocks of creation, forged by ancient, primordial gods. Each piece held the raw essence of nature, from blazing volcanoes to frozen peaks. Like a cosmic puzzle waiting to be solved, they were separate, yet destined to unite. Once joined, they grant the power of a god, a strength that defies all reality. They create a mental sanctuary, an imaginary world under the user's absolute control. A hyper-realistic space for soul training, where seconds outside are hours of combat within. Every drop of sweat inside translates to real power, reaching mastery beyond human limits. To onlookers, he was merely sitting in silence, but his soul was battling gods. Between the war god's peaks and the moonlit forest, his domain was expanding rapidly. The 2 worlds merged into a vast landscape, building an empire within his mind. Though the latest fragment was incompatible, Mon's raw output reached terrifying new heights. It's time to test this strength, he thought then. A sudden, dark disturbance occurred. Returning to reality, he saw an inferno, a house engulfed in hungry, roaring flames. Amidst the screams, Mon moved like a shadow, rescuing a child from the brink of death. The mother wept in total gratitude, but whispers suggested this fire was a calculated hit. Tracking the mage's lingering mana, Mon's rage burned brighter than the arsonist's flames. Pinpointing the culprit, he crushed the stone underfoot, swearing a blood-soaked revenge. The assassin utilized elite light footwork to flee, but Mon's SSS-Rank speed was unmatched. Closing the distance instantly, Mon unleashed a strike filled with sheer, overwhelming dominance. The enemy collapsed instantly, trembling before a monstrous power he couldn't even identify. "Dead men don't need names," Mon hissed, his killing intent suffocating the entire area. One brutal blow left the mage paralyzed, unable to resist the protagonist's absolute strength. Suddenly, a blonde thug interrupted, arrogance blinding him to the predator standing nearby. Seizing the momentary distraction, the fallen mage consumed a forbidden drug to transform. His body mutated into a titan, roaring that today would be Mon's final day. That arrogance died instantly as Mon's fist sent the monster's head into orbit. Witnessing this cold-blooded execution, the blonde leader's bravado turned into pure, shivering terror. Mon's gaze pierced his soul like a blade, commanding the brat to surrender. Before the thug could vanish, Mon's godlike speed pinned his face into the dirt. Qian appeared to assist as they dragged the mastermind into a shadow-filled alleyway. "One word outside of my questions, and you're erased," Mon warned like a god. The captive accidentally yawned, earning a bone-crushing reminder of Mon's short, lethal patience. Even Qian stood stunned by the protagonist's savage efficiency during the grim interrogation. The mage finally talked, revealing the strict power levels governing their mystical world. From apprentices to level 9 legends, only the elite reached the rank of Archmage. Above all were Bone King's ancient liches capable of commanding endless legions of undead. Centuries ago, the Second King devised a dark insurance policy against his death. He fractured his soul into fragments, hiding them until his eventual, apocalyptic resurrection. The 𝐸𝐽 cult now moves in silence, hunting these shards to bring ruin. Mon demanded the location, his massive fist radiating a terrifying, world-ending pressure. Driven by fear, the man confessed they existed to trigger 3 world-ending prophecies. Even their low-tier members could topple nations. Their full power meant total extinction. Worshipping the Bone King as a god, they sought the collapse of all reality. The fugitive was hunted because he possessed the ultimate prize, the legendary golden key. Qian had already secured it, a game-changing item that never appeared in the original story. Realizing the timeline was shifting, Mon knew he had to strike first and fast. In the original novel, the Bone King's revival slaughtered thousands of innocent souls. To rewrite history, Mon claimed the key and walked away, ignoring the survivors. Qian feared a backstab, but Mon dismissed the threat like he was treading on insects. To prevent the resurrection, the protagonist set out to find and shatter every soul shard. Utilizing his future memories, he headed straight for the Bone King's ancient, cursed catacombs. After visiting the black market, he acquired a rusted dagger and a decaying tome. Qian was baffled, unable to see the hidden potential within these seemingly useless relics. The stench at the tomb's entrance was suffocating, a thick fog of ancient death. Using wind spirits, Qian parted the toxic waters to reveal the hidden, subterranean gate. They reached the seal, but Mon refused to waste the golden key on this. He sliced his palm, coating the rusty blade in his own unique SSS-Rank blood. He explained that during the primordial wars, a god of war lost his everything. This dagger was a mythic artifact, a weapon of divinity awakened only by saints' blood. Now empowered, it served as the master key to every ancient ruin in existence. Seek 3 keys to unlock the secret. It generates a powerful anti-magic field to nullify spells. His blood touched the dull blade, making it shine brilliantly. The barrier shattered instantly. They leaped inside as Mon summoned his blade back. Ken gaped at the sword's value, a cheap bargain now worth several luxury apartments. They ventured deeper until terrifying monsters suddenly emerged from the abyss. Swarms surrounded them. Surprisingly, the king's royal soldiers were also lurking nearby. Mon decimated the beasts before turning his cold gaze toward the soldiers. Harnessing massive mana, he formed an invisible shield. He was now completely untouchable. His overwhelming aura left them speechless. He crushed the melee fighters with ease. A desperate mage tried to cast a spell, but Ken was lightning fast. Ken unleashed wind spirits to pummel him. The mage crawled away, trembling in fear. A final sword thrust finished him. Ken then quickly regrouped with Monday. With the path cleared, they finally reached the legendary inner gateway. Mon inserted the key. As the heavy doors creaked open for them, a chilling aura gripped their hearts. The novel's description didn't do this justice. This dungeon was a vertical abyss, plunging deep into the Earth's dark core. 9 floors total. Deeper levels held ancient, terrifying undead warriors of old. Despite the danger, they conquered it in 10 minutes. Ken hauled the gold. Riches and rare artifacts filled the cart. They searched for a way out. Suddenly, a skeleton in royal robes sat majestically, blocking their only path. It mocked the tomb robbers, hungry for the rare taste of living flesh. Recognizing a demon king's fragment, Mon smirked with absolute, unwavering confidence. He ignited his sacred blood to end this farce once and for all. The skeleton sneered at the Vanus bloodline, cursing their eternal, arrogant pride. It unleashed catastrophic frost magic, summoning 2 gargantuan ice golems to attack. Mon shattered them with a single strike, then lunged at the skeleton king. His aura-packed fist struck true. While the king blocked, Mon stabbed him. The curse broke. The royal robes vanished, leaving only a naked, white bone. Using his mountain crusher technique, Mon turned the skeleton into fine dust. He crushed the skull. Suddenly, another piece of the world map appeared. Mon triumphed. They destroyed the core and returned to the dungeon entrance. The dungeon shifted. To Ken's horror, his mountain of gold vanished instantly. He stood frozen, realizing it was all a cruel, chaotic dream hallucination. A chaotic dream space where the boundary between reality and nightmare fades away. It was a hyper-realistic illusion. Nothing inside could cross into the real world. Mon sighed. If it was all fake, their efforts were completely wasted. He told Ken to stay sharp. They needed to find the true exit. Sensing the surface above, Mon threw a sky-shattering punch directly upward. A massive hole opened. Above it sat a room filled with real treasures. Ken drooled at the sight of genuine, SSS-Rank legendary loot. They found a spatial bag with the capacity of 3 massive stadiums. Mon tossed Ken a ring of radiance to amplify his magical combat prowess. Ken was speechless with joy. Beside it lay a powerful anti-magic necklace. It blocked spells and revealed hidden curses. The gold key was actually a map. After looting everything, only a single mysterious skull remained on the floor. 𝐼𝐴 and his party never realized the truth. They thought this skull was just a useless, decorative prop. By ignoring it, the Skeleton King fully resurrected. But now, our hero has erased that dark future forever. He shatters the curse with one hand. Meanwhile, at the manor, the Archduke plucks his final apple. Should he be buried next? He asks. A cold-blooded monster who would even hunt his own blood. The servant trembles and agrees. The legendary Silver Blood organization has already begun their lethal shadow move. Many organizations exist, but few survive 500 years. Most fell when the Age of Legends ended. As mortals rose, Silver Blood remained hidden, a secret power that has ruled the world for centuries. Possessing the divine holy blood, they are the greatest and most terrifying secret force in this novel. Biting the apple, the Archduke sneers. Even with a masterclass fighter, their last mission was a disaster. Their pride is shattered. I wonder what overwhelming force they will send to kill our hero next. Can our hero find the map fragments and save the world? The hunt for the truth starts now. The legend of the strongest warrior continues. Stay tuned for more. See you in the next part.